All right, everybody, welcome back to chapter 3 or round 3 of our mock draft. I think the question, who's going to show up as our third round pick with pick number 74 if all things were to stay the same? Again, I'm Noah. I got Trey with me as well. Might have some more people coming along the way. But before we get into this whole thing, there's one more thing that I want to be able to discuss with you all guys, and it's something that was discussed by Mad Mike and K Styles earlier, and that's about the press conference. So, Trey, where do you want to start off with this?
So I kind of watched it a little late. I think it was like a couple minutes before K Styles and Mike went on, but I kind of like what Terry and Art are doing, and it's basically that they're not showing what they're gonna do. They're not even giving us a hint at what they're gonna do, and usually the past, really, you could say 5-6 years, maybe even 7 or 8, with the Mike Smith era, was that we kind of knew what the team was going to do, and like Mike and K Sal said, like what players were going to be off limits and what players that could actually be traded. This year, it seems like there is none of that. It's just if you give us a good offer, we'll listen to it, and it doesn't matter what you've done, who you are, what you've done in the past. Anything that can help the team now or in the future, they're probably going to try to do, just because of how this roster and how the cap space is set up. Another thing it told me was there most likely is going to be at least 4 extensions coming, and by 4 I mean Ryan's, Matthews, Grady's, and Deion Jones. Deion Jones is probably the most least likely, in my opinion, just because he did struggle a little bit last year. But like we said last week, they're going to have to choose between Foye or Deion, and I think they're probably going to end up choosing Deion on the cheaper side. But yeah, to be honest, it showed us what they might do, but it also didn't really. So this offseason, I think it'll be fun. It'll be a little surprising to a lot of people, because like we said, a lot of people really don't know what we're going to do this year, like they didn't know what we were going to do last year till about a week before the draft. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people definitely got stuck on Arthur Smith's quote about Ryan, especially because, that's where all the views go. That's where all the questions came from. And I kind of thought it was disappointing that they had all this time to prepare, the interviewers, I mean. They had all this time to prepare, and they couldn't even fill up 30 minutes of both Terry and Arthur's time combined. Like, I feel like because they had a lot of the same questions, and once one of them asked them, like they all had to start like crossing them off. I'm like, because you guys were reaching for the same things, like all this time, and you're still asking about Calvin Ridley. Get over it.
I mean, that's basically done with it. They haven't had an update since November 6th of 2021. That basically tells you everything that needs to be. I mean, he hasn't spoken to the team in what is October, November, December, January, February, and now March. That's 6 months. And that, like, I understand if he is going through mental health, but like, you got to give us something, man. Like, you can't just keep us in the dark for 6 straight months. That cannot happen.
Well, that's exactly what's happening, though. I mean, the whole thing about, especially with the Ryan quote about how not backing him into a corner, a lot of people just definitely got. First of all, they kept jumping to conclusions, and second of all, they jumped to all the wrong ones. It's just, it baffles me how consistent it goes about this. You know, because here was my interpretation of it. Not saying it's correct, but here's what I think. Right? Remember what everyone was talking about holding people accountable, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you want to hold everyone on your roster accountable, you got to hold them to an equal kind of standard. Well, not equal, but like equal to what you would consider their expectations to be. The point is, you don't want each player to become complacent about where they are on the team and how important they feel they are, because they feel as if the team can't replace them. See, when you go complacent like that, then you can kind of become a little bit lazier. You tend to not give as much effort because, hey, I know that they can't replace me. I'm getting my money. And if they didn't set any expectations for me, then I'm not going to set any for them. You know, if you're at work, if you're at a job where you know that if you get fired, then the rest of the business is going to be in shambles, you have all the power.
I mean, that's what basically Julio did. He knew that they weren't going to let him go. They knew that if he left, that entire, and it's sad to say, but that entire, what's the word I'm looking for? That entire staff was basically messed up because they didn't they didn't really put anything around or game plan anything around but for Julio, and he basically most of the time just ended up as a decoy later in 2019 to 2020. So it's kind of, I mean, like, and the thing is, you don't want your players doing that, because now with them saying, okay, we love Matt, we know he's a great quarterback, we expect him to be the quarterback of the team next year, but we can't completely say that he will because we don't know what team or what teams are thinking about him. See, now that puts it to Matt's head. Okay, now they have confidence in me, but I don't know if they're going to pay me because I don't know if I'm in their future plans. And the thing is that way you can set up his contract more on the front office side instead of the player side. Get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like you can't. It's like when you give the player all the power, like Aaron Rodgers right now, he has basically all the power he wants right now. He can retire. He can sit out and still get paid. He can force his way out. He can force a trade. He can basically do anything he wants right now, and that's especially from a quarterback position. It's not
now,
what
mind
you want,
you,
especially
that scenario right is different from Kyler Murray.
I mean, it's very, you're right. And with Kyler Murray right now, he has no leverage whatsoever because, one, it was your first playoff appearance in, 3 or 4 years you've been here? 19, 20, 21. Yeah, so 3 years. You started the season off basically 10-1 and finished it off 1-5. And then you got blown out on a primetime playoff game against a division opponent. So right now, really, he has no power whatsoever because,
and then he's got the gall to try to say that he was set up unfairly. Dude, what do you think Josh Rosen felt?
Oh yeah, that was Josh Rosen got placed around a bunch of practice squad and third stringers, and they told him to go. They basically told him to make the team from a dumpster fire to at least mediocre, and that just wasn't going to happen with that roster.
And this is where you know that Kyler Murray doesn't have that much power when it comes to that building, is when they extend Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim, but they don't even touch Kyler Murray yet. So they are confident in the coaching and the front office's decision whether or not Kyler Murray's there. See, the Packers don't have that ability.
You're right.
You know, and if Matt Ryan wants to be like, all right, well, I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to keep doing this again. You know, he could retire knowing that he's got something left in the tank. You know, that's what Arthur Smith said. That's what he believes. But yet, at the same time, he's like, hey, you still got to show it in front of me. And that's that no nonsense attitude that they have, where it's like, hey, yeah, I know you're a good player, but for how long?
That's the thing, and the thing I was thinking about is like K Styles said yesterday or Monday. He said even if we do extend him, that doesn't mean he won't get traded. That doesn't mean if we extend him to a 3-year contract and he has 5 years here, that doesn't mean he'll stay for 5 years, that entire 5 years. Because if you think about it right now, okay, if you're trying to win and you set up this roster and you put a little bit more talent on it, young, vet, and old kind of veteran type, and Ryan ends up getting you to the playoffs, you're not going to, and the quarterbacks next year, most of them, basically all of them, the top 3 that most people want, which is Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and the quarterback from, I think, Virginia, are most likely all going to go in the top 5. So you're not going to even have a whiff of them. It's a kind of a drop-off after that.
Unless you really sacrifice your entire future in order to try to get them.
Yeah, but that right there would just be stupid, because if you make the playoffs, well, then you have a team around them. Maybe you need to add a couple more things, but you basically have the team. And what I'm thinking right now is 2 things that can end up happening. So Matt Ryan could say, okay, look, you guys are either going to extend me and pay me, or y'all are just going to trade me and extend me and pay me and put me some talent around me, or just trade me because I know I have something left in the tank, but it's not 5 or 6 years like Brady. It's more 2 to 3 like Breeze and Roethlisberger. Or Atlanta could extend him, which I think will most likely happen. Atlanta extends him. They spread this money out. They draft a quarterback 3rd or 4th round. They let him sit behind Ryan for about 2 years. And then they trade Ryan in with his dead cap is at least the least amount that it'll be in that extension. And I think that's most likely what will probably end up happening.
Yeah, I mean, well, regardless, it's just the press conference, they didn't give us enough of what we wanted, thanks to the certain questions that were being asked. But what we did have, it was more of a confirmation for a certain side, rather than trying to add more, just like making it clear about, hey, this is our goal and this is what we want to do. No. You don't want to do that, because if you do that, then you know that other teams are going to try to listen in on this as well. And once other teams figure out what your plan is, you're losing the power.
And it's kind of what happened with the Julio trade. We never know if we probably would have got a 1st and a 3rd from the Titans if he didn't, slip up. But with him saying that, yeah, I'm definitely out, I'm not going to be here next year, I'm out, they basically need to be looking for a new house. That right there put all the leverage to Tennessee and less from us, because now they know he doesn't want to be there. Now they know that we're trying to trade him, so they're going to trade us the minimum instead of the max. And that right there, if that, like I said, that cannot happen right now, especially if you're trying to trade a guy like Calvin Ridley, you have to keep it a secret. You cannot let people know that you're trying to trade him, because one thing I can guarantee, I just can't see how Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith haven't reached out to him in the past 6 months. There's no way that one of my top players I haven't spoken to in 6 months. Now, maybe They haven't had a long conversation. Just been like a 2, maybe 5-10 minute conversation over the phone or something. But we can already tell they don't want him here. If even the GM, I understand the head coach. As the head coach has to focus on his players and trying to fix up the scheme and find some players in free agency in the draft to maybe that would help his scheme. So I understand that. But when the GM is repeatedly saying over the past 3 or 4 interviews he's had that he has no update over Calvin Ridley, and that's from the January end of the season interview all the way to yesterday's, I don't like it. It's just spinning that they don't want Calvin here basically anymore.
And that Calvin also doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
So again, it's another situation where, because of him being really out of touch with the team, again, it loses power. But it also loses power for him as well. So, we got Wallace Smith here that said they're not going to tip the hand on what they're going to do because they said the same thing last year. Yeah, you do got to remember that. Matt is not worried about getting paid, and we're going to have to extend Matt to free up some cap space to try to re-sign Foye. That is a direction that they can go.
Foye,
it really depends.
I just can't see Foye coming back right now.
Yeah, one thing you also got to remember. I remember Terry Fontenot speaking about this as well. Like, he wants money to have around in his back pocket during the season as well. All right, we can't expect to go into the season with $0 in our account.
I mean, that's why we're basically signing practice squad dudes to fill in some space because, well, we don't have any money to go sign an actual player that may have gotten cut or that just got left over in free agency. And I think right now, like last year, you could just tell by how Atlanta drafted and how they handle free agency that Terry wanted to do more. And you could tell that he was not upset, but kind of irritated because it's like, okay, I spent all of my money on the draft class. I traded one of the best players on the team to get the draft class signed, and I still have no money after that. So I can tell right now, because last year we didn't really have that many options to get money. This we have at least 4 to 5 options to get us at least $45 million. Terry's going to probably do at least 3 of those, because how the Saints worked out, and I hate bringing up the Saints on the show, but how the Saints worked out was, okay, before the 2019, 20, and 21 season where they were over the cap, they used to have money during the season to say, okay, if this player right here gets hurt, I can just bring in him right here. If this player right here gets hurt, I have the money to bring him in right here. And that's what, not even Terry, but really every team needs to have money during the season. So in case an injury-riddled year like 2018 for us happens, we can go out and sign guys instead of having to sign practice squad dudes to fill in some spots.
Yeah, I mean, the depth of the team is really important because you don't want it to make it so that if one of your top players goes with an injury, and then you have like the same depth of your roster as the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans are in a very bad spot right now. I'm not gonna lie. They're like you said, if you go on PFF or any mock draft simulator, basically every position is a need other than left tackle, and maybe even that, because Larry Tunsil is getting up there in age, and you might need to find a replacement, and his contract is running out, and also you don't know if he wants to be there during probably a 4-year rebuild. So,
well, Lovie Smith is he's okay with Davis Mills at quarterback.
Oh yeah, Davis Mills is. I wasn't expecting that from Davis Mills last year. He did better than expected, but I have to see this year if he's going to be like Gardner Minshew, because he does kind of remind me of him, a rookie that wasn't supposed to start, ended up starting, played well, not like great, but played well, was on the losing team. you get into another coach, and now you see what happens. I want to see if he is able to take it to the next level, because he was able to do some things last year to help out the team, but it's just the talent around him it's kind of worse than the Falcons, and that I don't see. You're not winning more than 3 games with that.
Yeah, I mean, you could also make it a situation where a quarterback will do well in one specific system, and they'll get drafted in that system, and that's what propels them to, reach their ceiling before some of these other guys that are just drafted there for need only. When you talk about, let's say, Drew Lock, right, the quarterback of the Broncos. In his first year, he's actually pretty good. And then they changed offensive coordinators, which completely changed the system.
They went from
he wasn't used to that.
They went from the who was the offensive? That was the offensive coordinator we was trying to sign back in 2019 before we got Dirk. They ended up firing him, I think, or he retired, and they switched the entire scheme, and he hasn't been the same.
Yeah, since. I think they let him go for Pat Shurmur.
Yeah, and Drew Lock hasn't had a season over 20 touchdowns since. Yeah, that season I think he had 24 and 13 as a touchdown interception ratio.
It was crazy because the Broncos got him because they thought that he was the guy that, quote unquote, was able to fix Daniel Jones. And then goes to Drew Lock and then ruins him.
I mean, and the thing is, some of it was they wanted him to be the future. Who was? Dang, I keep forgetting his name. The general manager, or the owner for the Broncos, John Elway. Yeah, John Elway. He thought he was the next franchise quarterback. Turns out it went from looking like, okay, this guy's pretty good, he might be the franchise quarterback, to, okay, got to bench him during some games, to he doesn't play till his first start he's until week 14. Yeah, that's not the best formula for quarterbacks right now.
But you know what? That could be us if we don't play our cards right, which is why we're talking about it. It's all about the situation when it comes to these players. Like, you want to know why Patrick Mahomes was so successful? Because Andy Reid knew the system that he ran in Texas Tech. You want to know why Dak Prescott became so successful even though he was a 4th-round pick? Well, because the offensive coordinator there for the Cowboys knew and actually kind of helped make that system for him in Mississippi State. You just go around to these other places and you'll see a pattern when it comes to, okay, well, this guy worked well here because of this guy. He doesn't have to learn everything all over again, and that will kind of hinder his performance. Yeah. Then we can get the best version of him the fastest. But that all...
You're not throwing them into the fire.
Depends. Exactly. But that all depends on, when do you need him as a team?
Because, I mean, that was the perfect situation for Kansas City, and I think that's what Terry Funnell and Arthur Smith are trying to build now. Because what Kansas City did was they said, okay, we know Alex Smith is getting up there in age. We know he's still a good quarterback, but we may need to plan for the future. But what we don't want to do is we don't draft a quarterback in the 1 year he might have a bad year, and then we fix some of the holes on the team, but then we put Mahomes, and then he has to be Matt Ryan basically all over again. A team with holes, but he just has to go out there and perform like a 14-year vet instead of a rookie. So what did they do first? They set the team up. Then you draft a quarterback. Set the team up a little bit more during that draft where you draft a quarterback. And then that next year, when you say, okay, thanks Alex Smith, or thanks Matt. We're gonna trade you here, or cut you here, and then it's just a smooth transition instead of his first or second year where he's not ready, and you're just throwing him to a fire with a team that's not ready either. It doesn't help his confidence. It doesn't help him, and it doesn't help the team overall, because now the team's like, man, I don't believe in young dude, or the veterans are like, man, I don't want to waste my time here, my last couple of good years, and go somewhere else. I mean, it's happening right now with Allen Robinson and Justin Fields. Allen Robinson, even though he was hurt, you could tell he did not want to really be at Chicago because, one, Matt Nagy just X'd him out of the system altogether. And two, Justin Fields was barely looking his way. I mean, I don't know how you don't, as a rookie quarterback, you don't look at your number one target's way a lot. But he started to go to Darnell Mooney and David Montgomery and all these other dudes. Like, give it to Allen Robinson, dude. I mean, he's a top 10 wide receiver when healthy. Just give him the ball and let him go be him.
Yeah, he's a jump ball guy too. So it's like, You don't have to wait for him to be open. But that was kind of his problem, is that certain quarterbacks, they'll wait for the receiver to be open and not anticipate them being open. There's a huge difference there. Because then you can make that throw earlier, and that'll help you when it comes to timing and helping your offensive line, not having to hold up that extra half second because you don't know what's going to happen in between then.
Yeah. I mean, like, football is about thinking, but it's also about timing too, and especially for the quarterback position. The thing about Matt and Brady and Breeze and Rodgers and Roethlisberger was they didn't wait till the dude literally made his cut on a curl route or an in route to throw the ball. No, you have to throw that ball the second he's getting ready to make that cut, because if you wait and the safety or that linebacker's looking like, oh, he's about to throw that, oh, let me go pick that off. Or you put your wide receiver or whoever's trying to catch the ball in danger. And that's a very big difference, because we don't have Justin Fields right now. Kind of glad, very glad.
Well, I mean, the one last thing that I'll say before we move on is it also really helps to have a patient fan base. To have a fan base that's willing to let the team build itself, and not being like, oh, week 1 you were great, and week 2 you were awesome. Get ready here. Get out of here. I'm never going to forgive you again for what you did in week 2. And then proceed to think that way, no matter what they do after that.
The thing you saw this season was, like, when we beat the Jets, like, dude, they're just the Jets. Well, no, they're an NFL team with stars on the team, with a pretty good rookie head coach. It's not like it's not like a bunch of 5-star seniors playing a JV team. No, like and to be honest, the Jets were kind of more talented than us at that point of the season last year. Better wide receiving core, wouldn't say tight end, but offensive line about the same, running game about the same, defense. We had a little edge on them, but that was because of the cornerbacks, specifically AJ. But you just said, and Mike said a couple weeks ago, like, y'all have to be patient, dude. Teams aren't built overnight. And when Arthur Smith was hired, Mike K. Styles, and everybody said, look, we're not going to be Super Bowl ready in 1 year. We might not even be Super Bowl ready in 2 years. Y'all just have to be patient. And I think these fans saw the 2016 season and they're like, okay, you're supposed to make the Super Bowl second year. No, like that was because Ryan and that offense popped off and they were able to carry the defense. That might not happen this year. But you have to be patient. Now, if we're competitive and we end up with a 10-7 record, okay, now the team is near something. So that lets y'all know that we're getting closer to it. And Terry, I like what Terry said before we get to this 3-round draft. I like what Terry said. He said that we have to be patient. And he said some teams, that know they're one player or two players away and they go spend big in free agency. He said, but we're not there yet. And he knows that we're not there yet. And I'm glad that the coaching staff and the front office know that, okay, we're all right, but we're at the point to where we can go have $50 million in free agent and just blow all of it on one player. Like, no, like we have to spread this money out and be careful with it. Because like he said, we're not there yet. We have to build the team, and we have to be patient in building the team, because we don't want to be impatient and end up like the last regime to where they're just signing guys and giving guys contracts and just hoping they work. And that is not going to work.
I also like what he said about trying to have his cake and eat it too. Speaking of which, that was a horrible segue into this. Let's get into these list of guys. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't exactly remember the full list of 30 players that I gave to you. So if you can pull that up for me, that would be great. And I mean, I'm trying to remember here because I have like another draft board in front of me. But
if I try pulling anything up, this StreamYard will kick me right out. I be trying to. It's sometimes where like somebody will text me and I got to hurry up and answer it. Then I come back and I either can't hear y'all or it just kicks me out permanently. Might have to, cause it is a computer that I have. I just got to set it up. I can just talk off, do the streams off of there, and pull stuff up off of my phone. I'll try to do that next week. Or try it out Friday if I hop on one mic now.
That's possible. So while we're here, I saw some other names. I'm going to just do this again. I'm going to put that link up there one more time. Hopefully everyone should be able to see it. All right, now that we're ready, let's get on with, here's two names I'll add.
Also, actually, guys, if you want to come up here, state your opinion on some of the guys we're getting ready to do. I think Mike and Noah have put the link in. Should be pinned at the top if you're on Mike's channel.
Oh, it's just me.
Oh, yeah. Just, all right. Yeah. Then, yeah, Noah. Let's put the link in. So if you guys want to come in, you are free to.
All right. Here. Give me two positions.
So let's see. So we basically put all our focus on defense with the first three picks. We talked about it. Kind of want to go offense. So right here, I'm going to go with two skill positions, and that's running back and wide receiver.
All right. I'm going to put a running back, and I'm going to put a wide receiver on the board for us then. But oh, man. I can be evil with this.
There you are. To be honest, the way the draft is filled on both sides of the ball, a lot of second round talent could be at this pick right here.
That is true, but I want to talk about a different cast of characters.
Ooh, haven't heard this man's name in a couple weeks.
Justin Ross or yeah, that's it. We're pulling out the big guns now. Damian Pierce.
Ooh. So, Damian Pierce, let me say this, guys. I'm not trying to disrespect Derrick Henry, okay? Actually, I'm not even going to compare him to him. He kind of reminds me of Damian Harris, the running back on the Patriots. Huge fan of him. He's a former Alabama player, so I've been following him for a while. But he kind of reminds me of that smaller but physical back, because I think Damian Pierce is like 5'11", 6 feet, 215, 220. I think he's a little light. I mean, not 220, like 215, 210. But the way he runs is physical. I don't know if you guys saw that Florida versus Florida State game, but he literally got his helmet snatched off and just kept lowering his head and lowering those shoulder pads. Like he literally ran through about 2 or 3 players with no helmet. And I wish that play would have counted. But that just tells you how physical and how violent he is. He does not. He can juke and he may have a hurdle here and there every 3 or 4 weeks, but he's gonna try to go three. He's not that type of back now try to juke you out or anything. He can, because I think he's a very kind of elusive guy, but he's not scared to lower that shoulder and lower that helmet and put it on a guy that's a little bigger than him. And he showed me that a lot during the season. His pass blocking does need a little help for me, but really every running back that comes out of draft needs help in pass blocking. His
I
pass
can think
catching
of a
isn't
few that are
really.
fine.
Yeah. As
But
long
they're going
as
to come
you
later
can.
on. But they're going to be a little bit more later on.
Yeah. For me, his pass catching, it's all right. I mean, he can catch out the backfield, but it's not like that's not what Florida really set him up to do. And he can run outside and in between the tackles. That's another good thing I like about him. And that's really about it. Kind of the negative side, he is sometimes a little injury prone, but most running backs are a little bit. They sometimes deal with a little ankle injury or a little foot injury that may nag him for about a week or two. His speed, he isn't the fastest player. He most likely will probably run like a 4.6 or 4.7. Gonna be completely honest with you guys, but he runs faster in pads, which most players most do. But yeah, and that's really about it for him. Justin Ross. Now, we talked about a big body route receiver last week in Christian Watson and George Pickens, except neither of those guys literally broke their neck. That's the thing about Ross. He didn't play this year. The 2019 and 2020 when he played, he was a very good wide receiver. Now, the thing for me is he wasn't the number one guy or the number two. I think he was number 3 in 2019. And then when T. Higgins left, or did T. Higgins leave? No. T. Higgins was in the 2020 draft. I think it was one of their other wide receivers, because Armani Rogers and Higgins were in front of him. And then they left, and then he went to the number 2. He would have been number 1 this year, but he broke his neck, of course. So I think he's what? Is he 6'3" or 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'3", 205.
Oh yeah, so 6'3", kind of big body, not as much as the weight size, but he is a jump ball type of go getter wide receiver. Now his speed, I wouldn't doubt his speed. He probably won't end up running like a 4.4 during the draft, because what a lot of plays that Clemson used him as was kind of like those post routes, deep routes, deep outs, but he can catch over the middle. He's got pretty good hands. His long speed is very good. Of course, if you're 6'3", you should be able to get off the press very well, and he does that. Sometimes he does have trouble reading like different coverages, like zone, like different type of zone coverages, and that does sometimes get a quarterback in trouble. Now, of course, Trevor Lawrence was kind of, generational type talent, so he knew how to read it better than Justin. And his route running isn't the best, but it's all right. But like I said, a lot of rookies, pretty much every rookie has something to learn and something to fix when they get into the draft or when they get into the league. So his route running is all right, but I think it can get better if he learns from the right people. Now some of the negative sides. One, like I said, he's injury prone. He missed a couple of games in 2020, broke his freaking neck last year, missed a couple of games in 2019. So he is kind of injury prone. Now, if you're looking for him to be a number 2, no. Number 3, yeah, I'm cool with that. He'd be a spectacular number 3. Let him go, have some jump balls on slot cornerbacks and linebackers. Sometimes he may miss jump a route because of his height, and I think because he's kind of tall, he kind of, jumps a little bit too early and it kind of go like underneath him or sometimes even over the top of him. But sometimes when you're 6'3" and you get overthrown, that's probably because of the quarterback. And really for me, that's about it. Other than that, he can sometimes be a little inconsistent and disappear from a game, but his big playability doesn't allow him to disappear for long though. He can make a 20 plus or 16, 15 plus yard grab anywhere on the field. And so for me, he's to be honest, I think if you did take him in the third, you probably trade back for that. For Damian Pierce, I do the same because both of these guys could very well be available in round 4. But if you were going to take one of these guys, I'd probably trade back into like the early 80s, maybe mid 80s.
Yeah, because we're at 74 right now.
And
that'd be about, at least about 6 or 7 spots.
Yeah, about that right there. Let's see, because wait, isn't this like a spot above from where we picked in the 3rd round last year, or am I tripping?
It very well could be, actually.
Oh, no, it was earlier because we had the 4th pick in the 3rd round. So it was like 69 or 70. So we were near this. So, yeah, for me, I probably have to trade back to take one of these two.
All right. Let's. Sorry, so we talked about a wide receiver. We talked about running back. What else could we talk about here?
I mean, we did go O-line in the 3rd last year. I ain't go back. But, well, do we? Because, okay, so you have Jalen Mayfield. A 3rd round rookie over Kellen McCary would kind of be, it's kind of crazy to say, it would kind of be a downgrade. You're pretty much set at right guard. I most likely think they'll try to go after a veteran center in free agency. It's like a 99% chance they do that. And left tackle, you're set with an all-pro and a Pro Bowl right there. So I think you're straight on that. Quarterback. I mean, there are some pretty good quarterbacks I could take right now. Carson Strong, Desmond Riddler. Tony just said Bailey Zapp.
Yeah, I think with those guys, especially with the Ritter and Strong, they might be more 2nd round guys, and that's only if some of the teams at the top don't get the guy that they want. Like they weren't able to trade out for the guy. There's also that possibility that because it's not that strong of a class, as other people are more people are starting to mention that or say that, they may not have to trade back at all. And because of the amount of people that are here at there we go.
Jarvis.
What's up, Trey? What's going on, Noah? How y'all doing, man?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Okay.
I was actually just getting ready to add the 3rd guy here. Well, since you just jumped in, we mentioned Justin Ross. We mentioned Damian Pierce. Is there another position that you'd want to give me?
This in the 3rd round, this is where I get that guard.
Guard. All right, let's try to find ourselves a guard.
So how do you feel about that guard out of UCLA? What is his name? The big Samoan guy. What is his name? Damn it. I will have to look him up.
I can hop on YouTube right quick.
Okay. You know what? I got that YouTube where you lock out of it, you stop.
Is it left guard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
Or he could be the left tackle, but in NFL projected to play guard due to his short arms. I forgot his name though.
Man. Oh, Sean Ryan.
Is that him? Yeah.
So,
Samoan guy.
well, I mean, that sounds Samoan, but it is an offensive lineman for UCLA.
Okay.
You said Sean Ryan? No, you said Sean Ryan.
Yeah, that's the first guy that came up for me.
Got a good bit of hair on him.
Let me get a picture of him.
Searching him up now. Sean Ryan. Yep, that's him.
Okay.
He's a left tackle, but he looked big enough to slide in the guard from what
from what they were saying that he had short arms. He don't have
definitely. I can tell just off of looking from this picture. I can tell.
Mm-hmm. Now, I seen him play LSU this year. They played us this year. He seemed pretty good. I can't tell you about the rest of their games for the rest of the year, but when he played us, he's pretty stout. He helped Charbret, the running back for UCLA, run down our throats a good bit, along with their other running back, and their quarterback ran on us a good bit. So he did pretty good at the tackles position, but his arms are kind of short. That says a lot about LSU's defensive line, being that we don't never get a pass rush under Coach O. So hopefully under the new regime, Kelly, we get some kind of pass rush. Hopefully.
I ain't gonna lie. If he was playing left tackle against y'all, most of y'all D linemen are kind of like
garbage,
athletic, long arm type dudes. This dude arm length is about, from what this picture looking like, that's about maybe 25, 28 on a good day.
Ooh.
So what I'm looking at right now, about 25, 28.
28-inch arm lengths? Oh.
Yeah, his hands are huge. Yeah, his hands are.
Yeah, he gonna definitely play some guard.
Yeah, there's just no way I can put this dude at tackle when they have dudes like Myles Garrett that can literally back up about 2 yards and still touch you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's one guy.
Man, this guy definitely looks like. I mean, I see a picture of him like having the football like wrapped, one arm under it, one arm over it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if he hugs like, if he just hugs a broomstick, I don't know if he's ever going to like go back to the other arm. Like, my goodness.
Are you seeing this too, Noah?
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of him. Like, he's got a big shirt, but like his hands don't barely reach past that shirt.
No.
Yeah. I mean, like his muscles are there. Like, of course, you always want your offensive lineman to have huge muscle. Like the arm strength is definitely there. But the arm length is like, I think at 14, the doctor said my arms are like 30, 31 inches right now.
He had 20. 32. He said 28 on his best day.
Yeah, I think my arms are longer than his.
My goodness.
Yeah, he's definitely playing left guard. There's no way.
This guy is 6'5", 318, and has those kind of arms.
Yeah. I don't know if it was like a little surgery he had to do when he was young, and he had to get surgery to make him the same size. But yeah,
your boy had the same issue. Claiborne.
Claiborne would have been so great if he had long arms, man.
Yeah, cerebral palsy had was the biggest thing for Claiborne.
To be honest, Sean Ryan don't even look better than Mayfield right now. He look a little worse.
Are you looking at highlights?
I'm about to now, I guess. Actually, yeah, let me look at that real quick just to see. Now, guys, I'm just going to let you know now, I do not grade guys off of highlights, okay? Highlights.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a highlight tape for a reason.
Yeah, it just shows your best plays, not your worst.
The best time you do something is to get you try to look at tape.
Yeah. Ooh, let me see.
So, while you guys go on and search for that, I think I'm going to draw a name from up here that I saw earlier. Let's see if we might be able to double dip here with this name.
Yeah, from what I'm looking at, before I go to that, yeah, he is definitely most like his strength. He's pushing dudes off the line, great, but it's just he has to move a couple extra yards to actually get his hands
On somebody.
Yeah, on somebody. Yeah, it's like he's moving about 3 yards out, about 3 or 4 yards out just to put some hands on somebody.
Yeah.
So I put Boye Mafe up here.
Okay.
Minnesota.
But you know what though? Noah, I don't think he's gonna last to the third round, man. He is.
Me neither.
I'm talking about you talking about somebody physical off the edge. Oh my goodness. He abused they played somebody. Oh, they played Nebraska. He abused the left tackle.
Boye Mafe. How he did during the season?
First round now? Jeez.
No.
Man, this dude's getting jumped up like
dude that I would say
Peyton
that
Turner.
went from like a third or second to first is Jermaine Johnson. That's about it. But Boye Mafe, before you came into the league, like really into draft season, he wasn't really known like that. He was kind of like a 4th, maybe 5th round pick. But the way he kind of started the season off and then kind of had a little down drip in those two, like the middle games. But the way he kind of started the season off and then the way he ended it, oh yeah, he went from like a 4th to a 2nd off rip.
Oh yeah, man, he is deadly off the edge. I wouldn't mind getting him, like with that second round pick.
Yeah,
man,
he'll be there.
I wouldn't mind getting him. He is. No, when I say physical, the cat is physical, man. I'm talking about really physical.
I'm about to look at some of his film again. You said Nebraska?
Yeah, he played against Nebraska. If I remember, Martinez is their quarterback, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, dude.
No, I didn't really start watching film on him until after the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the Senior Bowl, this dude pushed.
He showed out too.
Now, Boye Mafe isn't the biggest dude. He's kind of slim, to be honest.
Yes.
He's about 6'2", 235, maybe 240. No, my bad, 245.
I mean,
but his quickness and his physicalness is amazing. He's pushing dudes that are like 6'5", like
twice his size, man.
Back.
Yeah, I'm seeing Boye Mafe being listed at 6'4", 265.
265?
That's what I see.
Oh, good. I ain't think he was that big.
I'll take that because he kind of quick for 265. He looked more like 245 to me.
Yeah, I thought he was 245 at least.
He's too. I ain't gonna lie. He a little quick for 265.
Well, there you have it.
260. Because I wouldn't mind, man. K-Vine level, but it's near that.
Well, look at it this way, Trey and Noah. The last time we got somebody out of Minnesota, we had Rashid Hagman, and then we got a gem in Devondre Campbell.
Yeah, they know how to make their defensive players over there.
And then Campbell just showed up with Green Bay this year.
Yeah. So because of this, I don't know if it's fair.
Yeah.
I may have to pull a switch up
right
here.
Mafe, to be honest, I wouldn't. If you said 58, I wouldn't be mad if you took him at 43. Because dude, if he performs well at the combine, he's an automatic late first, early second guy. Not gonna lie to you. He's not. If he makes it past the 30s, he's not making it past 43. And y'all know what I mean by that. Atlanta better take this dude if he makes it past that. Because if you can, let's say now, I know we drafted Kyle Hamilton in this. Okay, but let's say you drafted Jermaine Johnson or Kayvon Thibodeau, and you put this dude on the other side. And then you got Grady and somebody, maybe Travis Jones in the middle. You know how good that D-line... Now, I know they're young and a little rookie, but you know how good that D-line would be? And then you got reserves like Taquan Graham and Ogundeji, too. So it's like,
What? Hey Noah, what about you? What about somebody? I'm gonna give you two names. What about these two right here in the third round? Tyreke
All right.
Smith and Sam Williams.
I was just looking at Sam Williams. So here I'm gonna take a boy. I mean, we at least talked about him. So.
Oh yeah, he's good as going by second round, bro. It's over with.
I'm looking at some film and highlights right now. He's pushing dudes back that's like 6'5", looking about 280, 300 pounds. And he's just getting off the ball quick, or he's just pushing them back. It's not even a challenge at that point. And then he's like, I just saw a play. This dude is chasing down plays 10, 15 yards down the field. But it was kind of like a 3rd and 25. So
yeah, the other guy was
Tyreke Smith.
Yeah, Tyreke Smith. But yeah, I hear you, Trey. I'm telling you, man, to do this, man. If we get somebody like that on the DN, even if we miss out on, the guy from Florida State,
Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, Jermaine Johnson, or any other of the top defensive ends. The second round has a good defensive ends as well. Like,
I mean,
man,
like
Tyreke Smith has the same build as Boye Mafe.
Yeah, basically. I mean, he's a little bit taller. He's 6'5", 260. I mean, I know he's smaller in weight, taller in size.
I'm seeing the same exact measurables.
Oh, 6'4",
6'4", 265, right?
Yeah.
Tyreke Smith is looking really good too right now. To be honest, he kind of needs to find a little bit more pass rush moves. Kind of using this little Vic Beasley move I saw him use nearly every down in every game.
Oh man!
But it's working, and let me see. Okay, bull rush right here. He got the. He got the strength of bull rush people too.
You said Taki?
Uh-huh. He's kind of raw. I will say that he is kind of that project player at defensive end. But if you just want him to get pressure, he can do that.
It's the same thing with Logan Hall from Houston. Logan Hall is a power rusher. He doesn't necessarily have that bend that you like in the defensive end. But he's 6'5", 260. If you put a little bit more weight on him, he'd probably be a real good 3-tech defensive end, 3-tech defensive end, and a 3-4 defense. Because he is a power rusher.
I ain't gonna lie, this draft class is filled with just D-line talent in general.
You know who else to get some height, Noah? But he may be a fourth round draft pick. I know in the third round, Ali Fayyad.
I've never heard of him.
Western Michigan. The only thing that's hurt him as an edge rusher is he's 6'2", 249.
Ooh. Sound like another Vic Beasley to me. I'm not gonna lie. Vic was 6'2", 230, 245.
Yeah, Vic was 6'4". Actually, he was 6'4".
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing him right here. Ali Fayyad from Western Michigan, 6'2", 250.
Okay.
He's about the size of a linebacker, actually.
I think he's bigger than Nakobe Dean, actually.
Probably.
Oh yeah, he got about 20 more pounds on Nakobe.
Yeah, he's about 15 pounds more bigger than Devin Lloyd too.
Because Devin 235, correct?
Yeah. 6'3", 6'4", 235.
So that's kind of what you're looking at there. And I mean, like, if a guy like that can serve as the passer and be really effective, then
their measurements is not too much of an issue, right?
Right. I mean, Von Miller. Like, if you're going to compare a guy like Von Miller to a guy like Julius Peppers.
Yeah. That was a big difference. That was a big, 6'7", 270 versus somebody who's 6'3", 245 maybe?
Yeah, but they both found their ways to get to the quarterback, and that's all that really matters.
That's it. Yeah, true enough.
So, if you're this size, if you're the size of Ali Fayyad, what you really have to focus on is, that bend. You got to make sure that you get that bend and just make that angle really close, because you don't want to have that tackle carry you over and then just kind of loop around the quarterback all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because these offenses they're trying to get rid of like those 7-step dropbacks because they know that a speed rusher like that can just ride that circle or the half circle and just nip at the back of the ball. When they try to make that release.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
So when
because Big Beasley was a prime example of that. Big Beasley was a prime. He was eating a lot of dirt. Big was eating dirt mostly. If five out of the 10 rushes that Big had, he was in a dirt 6.
Mm-hmm.
So
as long as you can kind of focus on that, and then maybe you have like that quickness that the tackle doesn't have,
and
then you can start putting some other moves on top of that. Maybe like the you could try a spin move. If you're that small, you might be able to be that quick and agile.
Well, your boy showed that he could do it over the years. Dwight Freeney.
Yeah. He had the same ability as he did like his rookie year versus like his last couple of years on the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
He was still pulling out that move, and it was still working. Another thing that he could be good for too is like stunts.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, stunts. Mm-hmm.
If you get that big body guy
in front of him, yep.
Kind of put them right next to each other, like in between the guard and tackle.
Yeah, and let them use the straight line speed. Yep.
That's all it takes. You just got to work on that bend.
Yeah, and with this Atlanta defense D line, really just the front seven in general, stunts would be a very good thing to add to it. Because Dean tried a lot of stunts, but it seemed like some guys were out there trying to be the hero, or they weren't good enough to do the stunts, and the O-line didn't respect it. And I think if you could add a couple dudes that can add pressure but can also do stunts too, it helps you out. Because then what a stunt does, it opens up blitzes, and that's what Dean Pease loves to do. Was that Charles Cross that Samuel Williams just beat?
Charles Cross projected as a second rounder now.
Is that what number does Charles Cross wear again?
I know he played for Mississippi State, but I don't know what number.
Charles Cross.
Does he just? Let me see.
He is number 67.
67. Let me see. No, that wasn't him.
Another name you can put up there too, Noah, if you want to. It's all up to you. This is your show, man. That boy John Ridgeway from Arkansas, the defensive tackle, the nose tackle, 6'5", 320.
Yeah, I may have been saving him for the 4th round, but
you did?
Again, like with the problem with this type of show concept this early on is that you're going to get the combine in tomorrow?
Yeah.
And
thank you for reminding me of that. Because now I got to go record. Well, who is it tomorrow? The quarterbacks and the wide receivers?
Probably.
That's most of the time I always go for. It's either them or the wide receivers and the running backs. Most of the time it's one of those two.
Excuse me. You know what's funny? I don't watch neither one of them. I don't watch the running backs or the quarterbacks or the wide receivers. I'll be looking at defensive players.
Now, the thing is, the combine is like 4 hours. So, yeah, I will probably watch about half of that. I will not be sitting in front of my TV for 4 hours watching but Rich Eisen talk about what somebody did in the 40 time. Because I know that's what's going to end up happening tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Some dude is going to unexpectedly run a 4.3, and they're going to be like, oh my God, this man just rise because he ran a 4.3, he goes from a third to a first rounder now. Like, no, I'm not about to watch 4 hours of that. But,
you got to watch the run with Rich run, man. You got to watch it.
Oh, no, that I will watch. That is, I love that. Helps out the children. Who doesn't want to help out the children?
Could he try to shave off a couple of extra like milliseconds to get like closer to that 6-second flat?
Yeah. He either gets better or worse.
Yeah, that one year, like he posted like a 5.97.
Boy.
Man, look at you go.
I feel like Noah got some up his sleeve, but he just holding it for a
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, I mean this is definitely not like the full list of names. You know, I'm just trying to figure out because you want to go John Ridgeway now.
If
We
you want to,
can.
you can put him. He's projected to be a 3rd to 5th round draft pick, but I like him in the 3rd.
Go like that.
He is what you call one of the coolest white guys I've seen, man. He got a swagger to him. He talks a lot of noise on the football field. I've seen him play. I know Traylon Burks kind of took over the highlights of that team, but he played pretty good.
Think it's time to start eliminating some players.
My only concern with a guy like John Ridgeway is what is his value if we already mocked ourselves getting Travis Jones.
Yeah, true. I was looking at more of a because he was 305, right? So I was looking at more of a maybe because they got him listed as defensive tackle, and he can play 3 tech end because he does have some quickness to get to the quarterback and some pass rush skills. That's what I was looking at, but I do see your point.
Yeah, because he's listed at just under 6'5" and then 327.
Oh, I'm looking at something different then. I thought he was like 305. So he's 327? That's a big boy.
Yeah.
They could end up double dipping with Travis Jones and him. But I don't really
know.
see it because they
if you got a guy like Anthony Rush and Mike Finelli, you can grab too.
Yeah. I think they're going to re-sign Anthony Rush. Not so much Mike Pennell probably because of age-wise maybe. But Anthony Rush, man, he probably gives you what Ridgeway could give you.
Anthony Rush is like 26?
Yeah, 26 years old. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was my biggest problem. I mean, if you can get past being useful beyond that, then I could see him. But at the same time, do we really want to take this opportunity to double dip in that kind of position where only one of them is
like really, all you really need is a dude with the nose tackle position. All you really need is one dude that can run stuff and one dude that can take up bodies on passing downs. You don't really need 3 dudes at one, especially at nose tackle. I don't really see the need for it.
Right, and we're only keeping that second one around just for injury purposes too.
Yeah. Because most 3 nose tackles in the league, other than like maybe 2 or 3, or like 3 down guys. Now, of course, you need to like fresh out, but most of the time, those guys are getting like a play or 2 break, and then they're going right back in. So, yeah, I don't really see the need for it.
Yeah, especially if we want to try to really solve our pass rush situation. Now I know that with certain packages where you can try to have like as many kind of athletic defensive ends on the field at the same time. I think they call that like a NASCAR package.
Mm-hmm.
Then that really gets you vulnerable into stopping the run.
Yeah,
which is why he's there for.
Mm-hmm.
So with this type of pick, it really makes it seem like we're trying to really fend ourselves off of playing from behind.
Got you. I got you.
Let's take a look at 2016, for example. That defense was built to play with the lead.
Yeah. Because without it, they couldn't do nothing.
Yeah. And, once they ran out of gas, then they realized that they didn't have the people that were just going to take up that space and just stop and play quick.
Yeah.
So, with bigger guys like that, you're kind of evening the room there, and it's a bit of an imbalance there for me.
Mm-hmm. So,
I could try to replace them with some other guys that I think might fit what we could do here a little bit better.
Throw somebody out there.
With pleasure. Do I need? You know what? I'm gonna keep this R here. Because that's what their last name is gonna start with.
be nice.
Brian Robinson Jr.
I love it.
The running back. Okay.
I love it.
Alabama. Okay. Oh, that.
Of course, Trey's gonna love it.
Well, yeah, I see. Like I said, I got on yesterday with Mike, and I don't know if y'all heard me get in for a little bit, but I jumped in a little bit. Told them I don't want to hear shit about no Georgia Bulldogs. I don't care about none of that. And I was just making fun or whatever. But Robinson, man, he got some power behind him. I like him. He's a one cut back, man. I like him. I do. I think if he just learned to lower his pass a little bit, because he does run a little high, he will be a great running back.
Okay, let's put him up against Damian Pierce here then. Who would you rather have?
Damian.
I'm going to be as unbiased as I can because I love both of these players. But Brian, now, guys, I swear to you, everyone in the chat, I swear, guys, being unbiased here. But Brian Robinson is better than Damian Pierce. Brian Robinson will most likely be going in the third round. Probably we're from about maybe 2 picks from where our pick is to about 80. I say about 85, maybe 90.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson isn't going to last into the 4th round, and that's because, well, one, he did have a little ankle injury, but that was he played through that injury in that SEC game, and you could tell it was bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really about the only injury he's had in the past 4 years. Now, look, the things about this dude, one, he's a worker. Like, if I don't know if y'all knew, but he's been on the team since 2018. He had guys like Najee Harris, Damian Harris, Sonny Michel, Josh Jacobs, and guys like that in front of him. So he literally waited for about 5 years. No, 4 or 5 years. And he worked and he worked and he worked, and he just learned from the guys that were getting ready to go into the draft. So that's one thing you like about him. If he doesn't start, he's not gonna just, okay, trade me. I don't want to be here. I want to be somewhere where I can start. No, he's gonna work to where he can get the reps. Now, other than that, let's get into the actual football part of it. So one, he's a very physical back. That is something I think we desperately need right now. I'm not gonna lie. With Quadri Olison and Mike Davis most likely not gonna be not being here next year, we can't just, and with Cordell Patterson, we don't know if he's gonna get re-signed. But let's say we re-sign him, we cannot use him as a power back. I understand he's a kick returner and he basically runs into dudes, but do not use this man as a power back.
Mm-hmm.
Do not. It's not gonna. You go from having about 12 good games from him to 8. Do not let that man do that. He's a power back, something we need. He's very physical. I don't know if y'all saw him at the Senior Bowl, but it was a pass protecting drill where they got a linebacker blitzing at him.
Oh, he blocked him in that block?
That man lit that linebacker up. Now, he nearly fell to the ground, not gonna lie. Kind of stumbled a little bit, but he caught himself.
That was a linebacker out of Georgia.
Yeah.
He did that.
Mm-hmm. But he put the pad. You could literally hear the pads clinging on that one.
They kept replaying it. They played about 3 or 4 times.
So I like that about him. Now a very underrated piece of him is he's a very good catcher at the backfield.
He is.
He has these type of catches to where he can make a move, catch a ball at the backfield, make a move, and then go. Now he can run you over too, but he can make moves too. He can literally, left to right, and then cut, go. And sometimes he'll have that run or that catch to where he'll make that move and then he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of the time that doesn't happen because when he'll probably run like 4 or 5 during the draft. But he's a pretty good back. He's kind of elusive. He's like an all-around back. Now, the bad thing is he's 23. So you are kind of getting
an older back with some I know he don't have a lot of trade on the tires because he didn't start because you had Who was that last year? The running back for the Steelers.
Najee Harris.
Yeah, Najee Harris, and then before that, it was was it not Damian Harris?
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Yes. So he don't have a lot of tread, but being that he's getting older, he may be limited in the NFL due to age.
Yeah, I mean we're seeing it with Calvin now. Calvin's only in his fourth year. He's about to turn 27, I think.
Or you can put him in a running back by committee.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want him to do, to be honest, because the thing with physical backs is
I really see that's what the league is going into now.
Mm-hmm. I hate one run back systems. Like King Henry is about to be. Everybody want to praise King Henry, or let me stop calling him King Henry because he ain't shit. He ain't that to me. Derrick Henry is about to wear down so fast because Tennessee is giving him 300 plus carries a year.
Running backs nowadays are not supposed to have over 3,500 yards in 2 seasons.
This dude is essentially what 80% of the Tennessee Titans football offensive production.
7 to me.
He's 80% of the Titans.
They only put up 30 plus points with after he got injured twice, and then before he got injured, they put 30 plus points up like 3 times. So that's the big part of the offense, and then with Julio starting to wear down too. You can't just say, okay, AJ, go be the number 1 star, because then he'll start to wear down. So they got to
either that or he'll ask for too much money for him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, AJ Brown was in the 2019 draft with DK, right?
Yes, he came out. Yeah, DK.
Yeah. So his contract is next year. Like that, this is his contract year right here. So you're gonna have to pay him, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Julio Jones.
They're not paying Julio, bro. I'm telling you that right now.
They're already stuck with Tannehill too.
Yeah.
They restructured Tannehill, so they can't get rid of him really till 2024.
They're not paying Julio. They're not paying Julio. I guarantee you, if anything before that, they'll go in and draft somebody like that. They
might draft him this year.
Yeah. They're not paying Julio. I can tell you that now. After they seen what they seen this year from Julio, they're like, oh hell no. That's not happening, bro. You can hang that shit up. Got robbed out
of a 2nd round pick for that dude.
Yep. We finagled the Tennessee Titans like we finagled the Patriots with Muhammad Sanu.
I still don't know how we pulled that off, and then we're still trying to talk about what Calvin Ridley's worth.
Patriots gave us a 2nd round for a wide receiver who barely gained 350 yards when he was with them.
Think about it. Wait a minute. Didn't they give up that same amount to swap Garoppolo to San Francisco?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Was he also with the 2nd rounder?
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, they cut Sanu during the season too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was running there during the playoffs. They cut the man during the season before he even got to the playoffs.
Yep.
And now he's also in San Francisco.
Yep, he's in San Francisco.
But then I don't know why. Now Hayden Hurst is a great tight end, but he's just not that guy right now. We may end up re-signing him, but then we got, like we said, end up trading that pick for Hurst and the 4th. Really, which the way he was performing, he wasn't even really worth the 4th. I'd probably trade the 5th for him.
I'm gonna tell you something, and y'all gonna think I'm lying when I tell you this, but I really believe that Hayden Hurst can really thrive in a system like the what's the name of the damn team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think if you send him to Jacksonville, it'll give Trevor Lawrence that safety blanket that he needs.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 1st rounder for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 2018.
And to be honest, to really be honest with you, if we already have Kyle Pitts on the team, they're not going to want to give the ball to Hayden Hurst. Now, Hayden Hurst is a very elusive tight end. He's not that regular prototypical blocking tight end that can catch the ball. No, he's a blocking tight end that can catch the ball.
I think in this draft we're gonna get a tight end, somebody who is more of a block. Somebody who's more of a, okay, that's a good name. Somebody who's more of a a blocker, but can also run routes. And then a third tight end, because we love tight end, we may keep somebody like Parker Hesse on the
You know what?
roster.
I'm
We're
not
on the
gonna lie,
topic.
Jarvis. You just reminded me to watch somebody's highlights because I was supposed to do this last week, but I ended up not. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm gonna watch this now.
Greg, is it?
Greg Dulcich, tight end from UCLA.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was at Senior Bowl this year, right?
I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. He the one with the long hair under the helmet. Okay. What's your thought on him? What's your thought on him, Noah?
So, I mean, I've been doing a lot of scouring around these tight ends, class 2. I got around to him a bit late, but it's just I have my own like set of needs and wants for the tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Long story short, I know a guy in the later round, like in the next round that we could possibly get, that checks in more boxes. But the boxes that he can check, he probably has a bigger check mark to them. You know?
Okay.
So if you're going for specific things instead of like an all-around guy, this would be a great pickup for us.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want a guy that that is meant for being that tight end too, I say you can still wait.
Okay.
But
For me, I think the way
kind
to
of got
the
to
fifth
him.
round for him.
Yeah, you can say that as well.
I'm checking him out right now.
Yeah, there's always going to be that spot when I make my mock drafts about like, geez, like there's like 5 tight ends here, and so you got to differentiate between those ones. And I saw him losing some battles in my head.
And the tight end has not been a very very strong this year. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Like everybody's talking about Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina.
Right.
He's really, to be honest, he might not even get picked to like the end of the second round, maybe even the early third. Last year we had 3 tight ends selected in the first 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
This year it might only basically be 1, maybe even 2.
Like I like the tight end out of Colorado. I like this guy right here, Charlie Kohler from Iowa State.
Yeah.
6'6", 256. Projected to go in the second and third round. I've seen some of his games this year. He's pretty good. He can block as well too. He's very physical. He loves to block. I can tell you that.
I like it. The thing
Jake,
is,
I mean, my guy that I want is Jake Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson, yeah, Wisconsin.
And I think he's a fourth guy. I think he's a 4th round guy. Another guy that I can pay attention to as well, if we don't get Ferguson, Derek Deese Jr.
Okay.
He's a Galt. Very similar. If you want to go a little bit later than that, then maybe like the 5th or 6th, maybe like the 5th or 6th round. Jelani Woods from Virginia, the quarterback.
Yeah, Jelani Woods. Cole Turner from Nevada.
Like him. Cole Turner's another good one. Guy from
Nevada.
State to play against Carson Strong. So.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, there's some people. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for tight ends who don't do anything particularly well, but they are well-rounded, blocking, very intricate in the run game, the intermediate, types of catches, in the middle, or not so much a seam route, but they can run a seam route if need be. And somebody who's willing to go over the middle and take a lick. Most tight ends, yes, Kyle Pitts is 6'6", maybe what we're looking at, 250 almost.
Yeah, I'd still say in like the high 240s then.
Yeah, like 248, 247.
He wears it so well.
He does, but you don't want him taking 1,000 hits over the middle all year long. that's where that other tight end with that weight on him, who can also catch but also block, can take those intermediate, things. Look at Jelani, look at Smith from the Tennessee Titans that one year when Arthur Smith was there. Smith, and the other tight end. What's the other tight end? I forgot the name, but
Ferkser,
yes.
I ain't gonna lie, that kind of reminds me of because I'm looking at Jake Ferguson right now, and he kind of reminds me of Ferkser he's not that fast, but he can catch over the media ball. He's kind of automatic when you give it to him because he's big body, so he can catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonas Smith, now Kyle Pitts is I'm not gonna lie, he has a better frame and he most likely will end up being better than Jonas Smith. But he kind of reminds me of him being a receiving tight end mostly that can block a little bit, but he's mostly a receiving tight end. And when you can mix that up, it kind of helps out a little bit because you notice they were kind of overusing Lee Smith a little bit. I don't know why. They had the man in a slot in a couple of games and in passing situations. Don't know why. But I think if you put Trey Ferguson in that situation, I think he could perform well in the system. Being used as a blocking tight end, but can also catch too.
Yeah,
I think a guy we're also forgetting about though is Jaden Graham too.
Yeah, I like Jaden's come back from injury. Yes, I'm sorry, we forgot about old Jaden.
I was like Hurst's mini-me.
Yeah, that is. I mean, and if you don't want to pay Hurst and you want to get somebody cheap, Jaden Graham. Who would have thought an undrafted tight end, such as himself would, turn into a little something. It's not nothing major, but he has turned into something that can be molded and used.
Yeah, he's about as much something as Parker Hess has been right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, he was a little better than Parker Hesse as far as the receiving thing too. He can block.
Mm-hmm.
He can block well, but he's a very good receiving tight end too.
Damn, Parker Hesse is a damn oversized fullback.
I mean, well, heck, so was Jacob Tamme.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, we did get Jacob.
So was
James
Casey, if you remember him from the Texans.
Yes, I remember James Casey. Yes, he went to Rice. I remember him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie. Do y'all think it would have been better if we got Jacob Tamme in the early part of his career?
No. And I say that because what we had during the early part of the career, we had who did we have? We had Tony here at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had another tight end. I can't think of the other guy's name. Needless to say, it wasn't worth it because he was irrelevant. But you had Tony here, so that would have you would have had to try to feed Tamme and Tony.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, because you got to have 5 offensive weapons.
Yep.
And one of them's Julio, one of them's Tony G, one of them's Roddy White, one of them was Michael Turner,
and Harry Douglas.
The fifth one is kind of going to be Harry Douglas. So if early Jacob Tamme was going to be better than Harry Douglas for this offense, I'd like to see it try.
Yeah, I mean Matt Ryan made Harry Douglas into a nobody into an 1,000-yard
receiver. And you want to tell me I ain't gonna get on a tangent because this is Noah's show, but you want to tell me that Matt Ryan can't be an excellent quarterback? I don't want to get into the whole conversation about being elite and all of that stuff. That's in the eye of the beholder about elite quarterbacks and not. But I got my own perceptions of why people don't want Matt Ryan in Atlanta, and it started way back in 2008 when Michael Vick went to prison. People was already talking about when Michael Vick get out, he's going to come back and be our quarterback. And when that didn't happen, everybody started saying, well, we don't want this scrawny-ass white boy being our quarterback. And it's been like that since 2008. And that is piss poor. And I think Noah said at one point, why do free agents want to come here when the fan base always talks bad about players and they go at them personally? Like somebody just went at the boy Mike Davis said, "Oh, Dante Fowler got cut. You're next." Who does that?
Man, apparently, listen to one of the more recent rants by Mad Mike. He was talking about people attacking Matt Ryan's children.
Yeah, that's crazy. and his wife.
It's like, meanwhile, the man just recently opened up a youth center.
I don't get it, man.
For kids, that's in the tougher part of Atlanta, like in the hood part of Atlanta.
Yes.
And not these little, not the rich part of Atlanta.
We talking about Bankhead.
But yeah, Bankhead, can't like places where many kids don't make it out of there, But
if you know, you know.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But if you're a native of Atlanta, or if you live in Atlanta, or basically like anywhere near Atlanta, you know how that place can get, and you know how those kids can grow up in tough parts like that, and they needed something like that, and people still hate on them for that. I mean, like we couldn't even get some of our own mayors from Atlanta to help them out, but we got a dude that wasn't even born here but wants to help them out. It's just, I don't get it.
And on that note, let's add another player. I think it's going to be time for us to start looking at a wide receiver. So I'm going to propose this idea. It's just a matter of who I want to put up here first.
Who you
want to
know what?
He better not be Scott Moore. Okay, good.
It's Romeo Dubs.
Jalen Tolbert.
South Alabama. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I like him.
6'3", 215, run a 4.3.
Yeah, he's a little thinner than that. I have him listed at 6'3", 190.
Okay.
Because to be honest, he doesn't play like 190. He's a little bit more physical than 190. Because that man, I've seen him lower the shoulder a couple of times on some safeties.
Yeah, he showed out at the Senior Bowl too. Because
yeah.
I guess because he was at his home stadium too. So,
man, Jalen Tolbert though, he's a very quick and speedy guy that isn't afraid of contact. Like he'll go over the middle and take some hits and catch the ball. Now you don't want him to be the main guy to go over the middle and catch balls. It's like he's a little too small for that. And you got guys like Kyle Hamilton now that are coming out and being able to play safety that should be linebackers. Let's just be honest. Kyle Hamilton should not be a safety. He's just athletic enough to be one and fast enough.
Yeah.
And some more.
Heck, I mean, if we can turn Floyer from a safety to a linebacker, we can do the same thing for Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah. And Floyer was really supposed to be a strong safety that was in the box. That wasn't supposed to cover anybody. He was supposed to be, what's the word? He was basically supposed to be a bench player. He wasn't even supposed to be on the roster right now. He was supposed to be one of those guys that you just take when you don't have anybody else to take.
But he was a diamond in the rough. The same thing with Grady Jarrett. The diamonds in the rough, man. They're everybody wants to say, "Oh man, you get your talent in the first and second and third round," and everybody else is just deaf.
This is where I really start tuning in.
Oh yes,
because this really completes your team.
It does. It rounds it out. It rounds it out. Like this year, your boy Tolbert had 82 receptions, 1,474 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And everybody say, "Oh well, that is at his competition at South Alabama," but yet and still, he still put those numbers up, regardless of the competition he played.
Yeah. Well, I mean, guess what? Like, do you know off the top of your head who his quarterback is?
No, I do not. Who is his quarterback?
Exactly.
No one else. To be honest, I don't. His quarterback might not even be a top 3 round pick in the draft next year.
Prospect.
Might be an undrafted free agent, but he's putting up the type of yards like that. I mean, that's the type. Look, now I understand a lot of people want the big name guys, big school guys, LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson, Georgia, all of those guys. But guess where most of the Hall of Famers come from in the league?
Small schools, man. Small schools.
Listen, schools like Yale, North Dakota State, BYU, Wisconsin.
Dude, Jerry Rice came from Mississippi Valley State.
From yes, Mississippi Valley. Yeah,
and people didn't even know that school existed till he, started popping off. But what Bo Jackson got drafted from a
he went to Auburn. Bo Jackson. He went to Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Auburn. But your boy Sweetness, you know,
Yeah, Jackson State.
You know, so look at your boy Tolbert. 2018, he played 12 games. He had 5 receptions, 60 yards, no touchdowns. 2019, he had played 12 games, 27 receptions, 521 yards, averaged 19.3 yards reception, 6 receiving yards touchdowns. 2020, 11 games, 64 catches, 1,085 yards, 16.9 yards per catch, 8 touchdowns. 2021, like I said, 82 yards, over 1,400 yards, 17.9 yards to catch, and 8 touchdowns. You can't tell me that's progression.
He could have came out last year and been a second round pick.
Yep. So
really, he could be a second round pick right here, but I don't expect it because the D-line class, the wide receiver class is deep, so he's probably going to fall to the third.
Yeah, everybody get pushed down. But if you can get Tolbert at this one right here, Noah and Trey, you can get him at the 3rd round. They can really do something for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge steal right there.
Mess around and get your boy Watson and Tolbert, boy, y'all in trouble.
All right. You know what? I'm going to add one last name, then we're going to start eliminating.
Okay.
Now, I really like this pairing. It's a defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
Edge or defensive tackle?
Well, his name is going to sound very familiar.
Oh, the corner on the other side of Sauce. Okay.
To be honest,
Bryant.
This would be a steal right here. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant may be taken late 2nd, early 3rd.
Yeah, I
could see him slipping right here, though. And the reason I say that is because, one, a lot of teams aren't going to focus on him because they're more focused on Sauce. And when that happens, you start to see who these players really are. And to be honest, let's say we're seeing it with David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Hutchinson doesn't end up working out,
or with McDuffie and Kyler Gordon in Washington.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Kyler Gordon and Ojabo work out, but the number one guys that were going there were McDuffie and Hutchinson. Let's say, okay, well, they did that. That same thing can end up happening with Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner.
Yep.
And to be honest, Kobe Bryant really isn't even that much less better than Sauce Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gardner gets some more attention because he hasn't allowed a touchdown in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really get targeted like that. Kobe Bryant has only allowed 4 touchdowns during this in 3 years?
Yeah.
That's still.
So the reason as to why I like him a lot is because, kind of with some newfound information from a certain someone, Sauce is like our AJ Terrell, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get all the targets and he's not going to try to give up anything. But to get a guy like that, you need someone on the other side in order to really help you with your coverages, because it might not be as beneficial for you if you get 2 of the same player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that you can kind of say, these guys are lockdown guys, but they may have a certain way of going about things, right? Like with Richard Sherman, he went about his own way, and that's different from a guy like Patrick Peterson. They were both really good at their job, but they went about it different ways. When you're going about 2 corners and you're trying to make them happen the same, now your defense is a bit more symmetrical than you'd like it to be. With a guy like Kobe Bryant, guess what he had to do? Everything else that Sauce Gardner wasn't going to be told to.
Yes.
Because Sauce was the guy that's like, hey, you're going to be the Meg guy, man everywhere he goes. You're just told to shut down that guy, and then we'll worry about the other guys with Kobe Bryant and everyone else we have there.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he wasn't really getting toasted, he wasn't really getting, he's up here for a reason, and he might be up higher than this for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because he was the perfect complement.
Yeah.
with every Jalen Ramsey, you might need a guy like Darius Williams.
That's true.
Or AJ Boye back in 2018.
Yeah, with Chris Harris.
With Chris Harris, yep.
So really keep that in mind when you focus on a guy like Sauce Gardner, and then you realize, well, man, the other guy isn't really giving up anything either.
Yeah.
And he's been told to do more in zone coverage and also in man. So.
Well, if you're going to start eliminating people, I can tell you right now at the top of me, Justin Ross from Clemson, I like him. I think he's a good receiver. But I like a Jalen Tolbert.
Trey, you agree?
What you said?
He wants Justin Ross gone.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with that one. I think Tolbert is better than him.
What's your take, boss?
Well, the injuries does concern me.
Mm-hmm. 2 years in a row, right? Oh, well,
yeah,
maybe three.
3 years because he missed 4 games in 19, 5 in 20, the entire season in 21.
Oh yeah, that's a no brainer.
Yeah, even at your best, if you're only going to give me as much production as the Cardinals season, that's not going to be enough in order to complete it for me.
If I'm doing that, you're going to have to get taken in the 5th. I ain't going to lie to you. It'll be a bench piece for me. Now, unless he comes into the league and he only gets injured once, that's like.
Hey, it happens.
But Trey, it happens though, Trey. Because you've seen there's some people that has a bad college injury history, get in the league, and so they overcome those injuries. So it can happen. But
or heck, even a guy like Thomas Davis tore his ACL twice early on in his career, and then still played a long time after that.
12 years in the league. Yep.
So we got rid of Justin Ross.
So the question you asked Trey earlier, who was better, Damian Pierce or Robinson? I like Robinson. I do. He offers more than what Damian offers for his catching out the backfield. Damian's a bruiser.
And it feels like we already kind of have that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because if we end up re-signing Cordell Patterson, that's basically the receiving back right there.
Alrighty then.
So
I know we kind of massacred my boy and Sean Ryan early
yeah,
on.
you did. You dogged him out real bad. But looking at his arm length, 28 on his best day, maybe. He, like I said, he Trey talked about it via some of the the highlights of his tape. He can move people around. He can open up holes. But the extra steps to get somewhere, because in this league, you have to be able to get to the first guy and get to the second guy real quick. If you're taking 3 and 4 steps to get to one guy, you ain't gonna never get to that linebacker. So, I don't know if you want to leave him up there or not as far as a guard, but yeah, I don't know. What you feel, Trey?
Or is there someone else that's gonna be easier to wipe off?
I think the extra steps concern me a lot. With just being like, some of these defensive linemen are taking advantage of those extra steps now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, okay, if you're gonna, take an extra step to the left, I'm just gonna beat you on your right.
Yep.
If you take an extra step to the right, I'm just gonna beat you on your left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what Myles Garrett does a lot is what TJ Watt, JJ Watt, Aaron Donald, Grady, Fletcher Cox, a lot of these guys.
Yes.
Because people are trying to get extra steps on them. And it'll say swim move out the way, bull rush out the way, leverage you out the way. It's too easy.
It's like a beefier version of what you would see on the outside and press man coverage. When you got to take those extra steps.
Yeah. Well,
in order to get a feel out for what the route's going to be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can take off Sean Ryan. I thought it was a decent enough pick. Maybe he'll fall down to the 5th or 6th round now. With the arm length, he may turn out to be a serviceable guard in the league, but for right now, looking at it again, a third round draft pick on him, and maybe a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we ignore the offensive line at this point, then this almost certainly tells me that we got to get someone in free agency.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and what that tells me is that we don't have the time, at least there in that
To
position
develop.
group,
Mm-hmm.
to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need someone that can protect Matt for just a gosh darn half second more, please.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna need that veteran presence around it, because if you're trying to bring somebody, you see what, so the developmental portion took a hit this year, and it kind of put a sour taste in the front office mouth and the coaching staff's mouth when they put in Jalen. Um,
Now it's not really to his fault because they
no,
were
no, no, no,
supposed to
no,
have
no, no, no,
Gono. It was
no.
supposed to have Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of be the guy that had to throw himself into the fire right there in order to fill the spot.
I'm not blaming Jalen McPhail by no means. I'm just saying they seen that this whole developmental thing. No, we ain't gonna. We not doing that. We not doing that because Matt is 36, 37, almost 37 years old. We got to have that veteran presence, somebody who can, has that experience to at least keep him up, like you said, a half a second or another second, up on the field. Maybe when you get that rookie quarterback in, maybe you can start doing that, during that time. But don't forget, Matt Ryan is a little statue back there, so we can't be having somebody just, not with no experience or not, not developing the way we need them to at this time. So that veteran presence is going to be very key.
He's a statue that can still juke out Demario Davis.
Anyways, he did it. Matty Wheels, baby.
Now we got 3 edge rushers here. One of them's got to go.
Ali Fine.
Yeah, he was a bit more of the reach, at least for the 3rd round spot.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that we could probably look for in the 4th if we really want to try
another
that.
edge rusher. Yeah.
I might bring his name up again next week if we even want to go another week of this.
Okay.
Because I don't know how much interest it'll captivate everyone if we start going to like the 6th round.
No,
I mean, like it will definitely help, everyone to understand like who is here and why they would be where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it really gives you more of a focus as to like where you can try to acquire more picks from. And for what and for who, and for why and all that kind of stuff. So I like the concept of trying to wait this out, because it doesn't really make me have to constantly think of a new idea every week.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we'll see what the audience thinks when they play this back. But all right, so we got rid of Ali.
Mm-hmm. If I may say something before you move forward, another good thing is if you just go 4 rounds here, or whatever the case may be, or you end up going the whole way, but just say you go 4 rounds, right? Then maybe another week or so, or 2 or so, you can go and now you can start delving into some of the free agency, and then try to compare what we would get if we was to draft these players, and then dip into free agency and trying to put a big picture together to see what a team will look like in 2022. Excuse me.
Yeah, I do have an idea for how I want to do that too.
Okay.
And it might be in the form of a game show. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Sounds pretty good.
So, yeah, we got 2 edge rushers, or 1 running back, 1 tight end, 1 wide receiver, 1 corner. Now, again, this isn't everybody. I still want to add some more names, but how are we feeling about these other guys?
Well, we didn't talk about Tyreke Smith a lot from Ohio State. Probably not a lot of people know too much. But I like the right side of your screen over there with the running back, tight end, receiver, and corner. We could probably take off Tyreke if need be. If you like Sam Williams out of Ole Miss, I kind of like him. He showed me something this year. So did Tyreke. But how do y'all feel about value?
Right.
I think Tyreke Smith is a little bit better than Sam Williams.
Okay.
Both of them could go at this pick, to be honest, because both of them are really like mid 3rd round guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you could take one of them at this pick. But for me, I think that Sam Williams, his ceiling isn't as high as Tyreke Smith.
Yeah.
Tyreke Smith, you can tell if you put a little bit coaching into him,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be probably a top 20, top 15 edge rusher
Mm-hmm.
in the draft. I mean, in the league.
And at that point, it's just going to be up to polish versus the future.
Yeah.
So I got one opinion saying Sam Williams can stay, and I got another opinion saying Tyreke Smith could stay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So tell me who you got.
Oh boy. Well, with Sam Williams, let's try to focus on like the scheme part of it too.
Okay. So we're looking at Sam Williams as that. So he's what, 256, 6'4", 256. So
I have him
we're
listed
looking
at 6'3", 268.
26. Okay, 268. Okay, maybe wrong website then. So he's a little bit too small for me to be that 3-tech defensive end. I look at 3-tech defensive ends, 275, 280. So scheme wise, he'll be a real heavy edge rusher if he was to be an edge. For him, he will have to bulk up a good bit and be what Marlon Davidson should be. Tyreke, he could be that edge rusher off the edge already. Like Trey said, with that coaching, he already got 6'3" he was, 250, if I'm not mistaken. That's what he was.
6'4", 6'3".
Okay. And with that coaching, he already come from a good pedigree. Ohio State has a lot of good defensive players already.
Marshawn, just to name a few, Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
And on the D line too, two
Chase
came out, and Chase Young, Joey Bosa. Did Nick Bosa come out of Ohio State?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah,
so both of them came out of Ohio State.
So he has a good pedigree in him, and he is coachable, coming from that program. So now, Noah, you're looking at the whole thing of taking Sam Williams, having to bulk him up to even fit into a scheme as a 3-tech defensive end, because he's too heavy to be an edge unless you feel like he's real quick and can do a lot of things at that size. Or you can get somebody like Tyreke, who's already 6'3", 6'4", 250, who may not need as much coaching and can and make and be that situational pass rusher, starting out and developing something or what you're looking at.
Yeah, because all right, I'm gonna ask this question first in order to answer yours. Do you see us signing any sort of free agent pass rusher?
I do.
As a
starter. One. Maybe after this first and second wave of pass rushers, I do see somebody, a serviceable defensive end or pass rusher.
Because again, it's going to be after that first wave.
Yes.
Now, the only way I see us signing somebody in that first wave is if we just extend every single person and trade Calvin Ridley in like the next week and a half. That's the only way I see us doing that. Because if we extend Ryan, Matthews, Jones,
and
Grady, and trade Ridley, that's about, and plus cut Sheffield and Tyler Davison, all that is about $53 million right there.
53.
So we basically have about $46 million because we're like about $7 million still over the cap.
And of course, that'll come down because you got to sign the draft class as well.
Yeah.
So I do see that we're going to be drafting or getting a free agent pass rusher. And I hear what you say after the first wave. I even say after the second wave, because now we're going back into the bargain bin a good bit. Now, we're not going to get Steven Means again. Do not mistake me for saying get Steven Means again.
Please don't. I don't want our team to have to go to the fridge so many times that we'll settle for Steven Means again.
Yeah.
I swear for Lord, if we get another dude that's just on the field celebrating. Oh.
Okay, so if we trust ourselves to sign some sort of an edge rusher to expect ourselves to be the starter week 1, I think I like Tyreek Smith more for that then.
Mm-hmm.
Only if we get someone else so he can not have to worry about being the main guy.
Being the main guy. Okay. Yes.
With Sam Williams, you can reach a potential with him. And you might be able to do that faster. But he's got a Tyreek's just got that higher ceiling for me. So I just see a little bit more that I can do with him.
Because he may be able to drop back in coverage a good bit. You don't want. Now I'm not gonna say he's our best coverage person, but he's able to drop back in coverage if need be. Unlike Sam Williams, who runs a 5.0 and the 5th and the 40, he may not do that for you. Tyreek runs a 4.7.
Oh, no problem, man. Say less.
That man Noah said, no, I'm straight on that one.
So y'all gonna think I'm lying off subject?
Well,
I'm looking at NFL.
When I hear a 5-second 40, I'm instantly thinking the 10-second split.
Wait, Sam
that
Williams
seems like a
five,
second. That seems like a second and a half to get 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but if you have like any sort of obstacle in your way, that can easily go to like 3 seconds to get 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And where he's playing at versus where the quarterback can be, that's about 10 yards, if not more than that.
Yes.
And if they were to move, which guess what? We're gonna face the quarterbacks that can move.
Kyler Murray,
So,
Justin Herbert, Russell
Lamar
Wilson.
Jackson.
Yep. Because they move the pocket. They move the pocket. They do. Yeah.
Taysom Hill eventually, probably.
Man, to be honest, bro, if we can just get a little better at defensive end, Taysom Hill will be locked down.
Oh yeah.
I ain't gonna be honest. Because now let's not get off topic here. I'm just saying a little 30-second quick thing. Taysom Hill is garbage. Okay, if you put pressure on that dude, it showed last year, and in that first game that we had against him. If you put pressure on the dude, he sucks. If you give him time, he can make a throw. But if you put pressure on that dude, especially from the outside, he crumbles. Because guess what happens when you rush a dude, when you rush a quarterback that can move from the inside? They try to go to the outside. What happens when they can't go to the outside? All right, everything starts to panic.
Yeah.
You just know that. Yeah, I don't really trust you if you've had more reps at special teams than you have in your actual position.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. And we just hired Ron Pace, right, from Chicago Bears, ex-GM. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised if what Trey is may come to fruition about re-signing everybody, getting a good bit over the salary cap, maybe $40 million even. Okay. They go out and they trade for somebody like Khalil Mack.
Yeah. And then with what else? I mean, because like I said, you're still going to have like $10 million to spend on the free agent or on the rookie class.
Yes.
At least around there. You still want to have like a couple million in your back pocket for
injuries and stuff. Yes.
So, even if you were to have about like $35 million in cap space, I'm really only seeing that as like 20.
Mm-hmm.
At least for right now, Do we sign just that one guy like that and make that splash move?
Now
and try to offer Khalil Mack about what $20 million a year when he is making. I'm trying to look that up right now.
About $15 million. I think.
Guys, y'all gonna think I'm lying. I'm looking at NFL Network right now. They got the Falcons playing the New York Jets back week 5.
Oh yeah, Tony Wright just mentioned that too.
That's crazy.
Never thought I'd hear that.
I don't know why.
Yeah, usually they playing the past couple of weeks. They just been playing Super Bowl 56 and 7 all.
Okay, so yeah, as of right now, Khalil Mack's contract has him. He signed on the Bears until 2024, where they're. I don't know. Like his base salary is like this season is just above 12 million. You got to remember he's 31 years old at the moment. All right, he's got a signing bonus of 6.8 million, a roster bonus of 5.5 million, a workout bonus of 200,000. With the restructure that's going to be added on top of that, it's going to be a 5.6 million. And his cap hit for Chicago at the moment, which is so far like this is the biggest year for the cap hit, and it's above 30 million. And any sort of moves this offseason, that would have essentially flushed $24 million down the toilet for the Bears. Now, they're one of the few teams that are kind of above the cap limit, or like underneath it, if you will.
Yes.
From our side, of course, it's a dream for us, but on their side, that's dang near an impossibility.
Yeah.
Now they do have this potential out this year. You know, so, but even then, like that's potential year 4 year, $90 million, $24 million dead cap. Yeah, that's not really in our ballpark. Unless if he is the type of person that would go to another position, like another situation for a team to make less money, but to be a contender, which again Terry Fontenot said we ain't there yet. Even if we were to add a guy like Khalil Mack, because.
I was just speaking hypothetically, man. That's all. I mean, it wasn't something that I was trying to put in place, but when I hear Terry Fontenot talk and Arthur Smith, there's a lot of promotion. There's a lot of smoke screens, and the possibilities of everything is there. Everybody took today or yesterday the whole thing with Arthur Smith is saying, Matt Ryan knows how we feel about him, but somebody come with us with the right price, those are calls that you take. So it leaves the window open for different possibilities. Like I said, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. There's a possibility for a lot of things. So that's what I was getting at.
But I mean, like people are gonna listen to one clip of this show and be like, "Oh my gosh, Khalil Mack confirmed to the Falcons." It's like, no, hang on. Just from a pure financial standpoint, that doesn't make any sense for either side.
Yes. Yeah.
So just got to clear that up. That way, we're not trying to spread around any more people. Welcome back, Trey.
Phone kind of froze up for a second. It's on the charger, so.
Who do you see as a pass rusher out there that we could get in free agency? Is Brandon Graham a free agent this year, or is he too old?
I mean, even if he was, you're not going to give this man a mega deal.
I like Derek Barnett.
Oh, now him.
So does Philly.
Yeah. Now, it is a couple of pass rushers that I think it end up turning out like Shaq Barrett. We all know how Shaq Barrett is. He just got the bag last year, 4 years, $63 million deal. It's a couple edge rushers out there right now that weren't in the right system, but still made plays. But if you put them in this DNP system and let them go eat, you end up like a Shaq Barrett, where Shaq Barrett was just looking for a place to stay. People thought he was a deaf piece, and then he just burst out with 19 and a half sacks. Now, I'm not saying, if we sign a guy like Derek Barnett or I keep forgetting saying he's a Raiders player or Raiders. He's on the Raiders. If you just bring him over here, okay, he has 19 and a half sacks. No. But I think it's a couple players in this free agency that are kind of young, like 25, 26, that if you give them like a little, or 24, my bad, you give them like a little 1 year prove-it deal like we did with Cordell, and then boom. And next year, we don't have to worry about being over the cap. Next year, I think we'll have like $29 million. So,
now let me ask you. I'm gonna ask y'all this right here. When y'all found out what Max Crosby would turn into for the Raiders, were y'all mad we didn't pick him?
Yeah, I was. To be honest,
we're going to say that about every single edge rusher since 2012.
Yeah, to be honest, like
TJ Watt, everybody, right?
Because like and the thing is, we had a chance to draft all of these guys. It's not like it was like, man, we could have drafted him right there. Like, no, we had a chance to draft a lot of these guys. And
TJ Watt was right there, and you draft Tack McKinley. You know what? Move forward. Hey, let's go forward, Noah. Let's move forward because I'm getting mad thinking about all this.
You had.
Well, because I was looking at it, right, and I was looking at these free agent edge rushers. All right. Well, what's an age that's too old for you?
What's an age too old for us?
Yeah,
if you 31,
for a 1 year,
a 31-year-old, 31.
I'm gonna say
that's your cutoff point.
Yeah, my cutoff. My cutoff point
for a 1 year guy.
For a 1 year guy, 31.
For me, I say
that's what Khalil Mack is.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like he was 31. Could you stretch that to 33 and get Justin Houston?
30. Okay. Yeah, I could. You know, he proved a lot of people wrong.
Is a different. He's a
beast,
different though, because Justin Houston is still kind of popping off. Well, Khalil Mack is too, but Houston isn't as injured as him.
How old is Melvin Gordon?
Melvin Gordon's like 34.
Not Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Ingram.
Ingram. Yeah.
Oh, Ingram.
He's also 33, but he might be a bit more to get. Like he might be more pricey.
And we're not going to get Jadeveon Clowney, so you can hang that shit up.
Ryan Kerrigan's 34.
Ooh, I ain't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, neither are the Eagles.
The Eagles last year, right?
Again, I ain't heard from him in a while.
Because I remember everybody being upset about that. He had went to the Eagles, and then he basically did absolutely nothing.
But yeah, I'm gonna remove one more guy before I start adding about 5 more names on here.
So who do you want to remove?
I'm gonna say Greg Dolch.
Yeah, Greg Dolch.
Because he's really the only guy on the list anymore that you can really get in the 4th and 5th round.
Yeah.
Got my name towards him as well.
I think there's a lot of tight ends going to be going in the range of 3rd and 5th.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the soft spot for most tight ends anyway.
All right. So now that we have these guys off of here. All right. Let's start another position up here. What you guys thinking?
We could go. Let's go. We can go.
That's hard right now. Shit, we got what we did. Left tackles already. We did guards, centers. Ain't no centers. I don't think about. Les Linderbaum was the last one I've talked about.
Linderbaum gonna be going in the end of the first.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as centers, I ain't
gonna lie. If Linderbaum is there when the Bengals pick, they will have Roger running to the pole full speed, acting like he is on a 40 time.
What about linebackers?
I mean, yeah, because I don't really think, to be honest, I don't really think, I love Michael Walker, but I don't really think Michael Walker is that top guy, like the dude that can start at right tackle, right outside linebacker and just be that dude. I don't think he's that guy. Now, let's say
he's a playmaker.
Kind of like have him like how you have like different setups for him. Oh yeah, you can do that. I'll be straight with that. But kind of making him the starter, I'm not really good with that one.
So throw some linebackers up there, guys. I don't know a lot. Leo, who's okay? Tell me something about him. I don't know who he is.
I would say Christian Harris, but he'll probably be going by the second.
Oh, Christian Harris, yeah. Linebacker Alabama. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. To be honest, the linebacking core is really kind of a drop off after Harris and the Cincinnati kid we was talking about last week.
Yeah. Oh, what about Anderson? Christian Anderson.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
So Leo Chenal, tell me something about him. No, I don't know much about him.
I don't see a Christian Anderson.
A Christian Anderson from Alabama?
Christian Harris.
I
We talked about him last week.
I thought there was another guy. Okay.
I can throw this guy up here too. Georgia fans might know him.
Is it the dude that got after
Shannon
the Molly Wop?
Tyndall. Okay. Yeah.
Tyndall. Not my last name, Tyndall, but Tyndall.
And then there's another guy, right, from Georgia named Quay Walker. Did we talk about him already?
Ooh, you mean the dude that got basically embarrassed by Brian Robinson a couple weeks ago? That guy?
Okay. So, with Leo, I really like his attitude. He's got a lot of fight in him. You know, and that's what...
Now, when you mean fight, you don't mean actual get, kicked out of game type fight, right?
No, I just mean like he's got that raw passion for the game.
Oh, okay. Thank God. It's a different type of fight because and kind of made that for us. You got the kick a dude in his nuts while he's on the ground type fight, and then
that's the Donica Seuss type shit there, boy.
Yeah.
No, there's a big difference between being nasty and being dirty.
Yeah.
So.
We need in this draft. Noah, what we need in this draft, y'all. We need a Harvey Dahl.
I ain't gonna lie, that would be great right now. Like a dude that talks smack to everybody.
We need a Harvey Dahl, man.
Yeah.
Because to a person like that too, but also I kind of want to do it in the secondary. AJ Terrell is kind of starting to remind me of Julio, and not like in the the type of leave type form, but that quiet all-star type dude. Like he don't talk a lot. I need somebody in that secondary to be talking like we own you now. Like that's locks. That's what I need, and I didn't really hear a lot of that last year. And back when, not to compare now, I don't want to compare anybody to Ed Reed, but Ed Reed was kind of like that guy that was going to set the tone back there. He was going to talk some mess to you.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to make sure you knew he was there, So, for me, I kind of want that person in the backfield and back too, because it's like a lot of those guys are important. Like our big guy in 2016 was Mohamed Sanu and Deion Jones. We still have Deion Jones, but Jones is a little bit more quiet now,
Mm-hmm.
But you always want those type of guys that can set the tone, like we own you right now. Like you ain't going nowhere. You ain't did nothing all game. I don't even know what you're talking about type stuff right there. That's what I want.
But you know who's gonna be that person for us though, Trey? And everybody it's gonna be two people on the defense. It's gonna be them people. Jalen Hawkins and Richard Grant.
Yeah, I can already tell right now, kind of.
Now, so with a guy like Leo, with a guy like Shannon, like they are two pretty different linebackers. Like Leo is going to be one of those guys that's going to like just shoot through a gap, just destroy a blocker, so that the other guy can make the wrap up tackle for him, or he's going to just blitz.
What school did you go
to? Wisconsin. So
okay.
He was kind of with a pairing with him and another linebacker that might be later on, Jack Sanborn.
Okay.
I like both of them, but I think they work best together as a pair. It might be one of those things where if you split one from the other, you might need like some sort of a replica of either one to get the same level of production. Because with Leo, like he led Wisconsin in like tackles and sacks for the past 2 years for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he can definitely get to the quarterback, and he can definitely make some stops, which is what we would need if we had that kind of hole for like Foye or something,
Okay.
Whereas with Channing, now he doesn't have as many reps, of course, because he's on Georgia's defense.
Mm-hmm.
what else is new? Going to have like 30 different starting guys on that defense, but only 11 can be on the field. So,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
but he's more of like a coverage guy. Like he's 6'1", 223. That's very Deion Jones like.
Dion. So he's Dion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he can blitz, but he's not like a Michael Walker. He's not a Deion Jones when it comes to that aspect. Like they've both gotten a lot better at that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of building him up to be another form of who you have. And if you want that, you can get another polished version of that like Nakobe Dean. So if you really want to go that route.
The concerning part to me about Nakobe is that he's smaller than Deion. That's the problem for me. Deion's already small, and I'm starting to have a problem with smaller linebackers. But Dean is he's like Russell Gage type small at linebacker. Now he's physical. Don't get me wrong. That he doesn't play like he's 6'1", 220. But when you start to get into the league, dude, that stuff starts to pay a dividend. And when that happens, you have to be able to get past blocks and kind of be more physical. And when you have a dude that's literally about 4 inches taller than you and about 115 pounds or 150 pounds bigger than you, it's going to be hard to get off of blocks. And that's the problem with me for Dean. So for me, if we're going to go him, I kind of want to get a bigger linebacker in free agency just to have that type of scheme fit, because it's good to have quicker, smaller linebackers nowadays because of how the pass game is going. But you also need that type of dude that won't get absolutely destroyed if that does end up happening.
Yeah, because what someone like Channing would be good for is like covering a running back out the backfield.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be the best fit for covering a tight end. Well, he could be a good fit, but he's just not the best one that's available in this draft. So you can go that route, or I can add another kind of outside linebacker edge guy.
Do y'all think we go for that many edges in this draft, though? I wanted to ask y'all that earlier. But, do y'all think we do that in this draft?
D'Angelo Malone out of West Kentucky?
Yep.
I haven't done much on him. Tony Wright talked about him. 6'4", 244. It's going to be a steal. He got good size.
Yeah. How much of a steal, though, when you pair him up with everyone else we got right now?
Is he going to be more of a Brady steal or what? Because Lord knows in this draft, we cannot afford to get somebody like a Cleveland Farrell.
Yeah, I think it would be good to have basically 2 Grady-type prototypes on the team.
You think it'd be good to have 2 Gradys on this team, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talked about that. What was that? When the last time you did this, Noah?
Yeah,
when we did the second round? We did Wyatt?
Or no, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. So, and I know Noah said, do you really want to have another Grady on the field? Because you need somebody to help Grady open up and penetrate holes. I mean, if you look at Ndamukong Suh and what he did for Aaron Donald, that's what you essentially need. I think Wyatt would just be,
basically another Grady, because Wyatt isn't really that. He's big, but he's not like a mammoth. Because Wyatt's only 6'2", 310, 305. That's basically like 5 pounds, maybe the same weight as Grady.
Yeah, he's same weight because Grady is 305.
Yeah, so that's why I tried. Now, if we get Jordan Davis in the second, that'd be great. But Jordan Davis is probably going to be going at the end of the first. So Travis Jones is really looking, he's looking great right now. He wanted to do that.
Yeah. get one more guy in here. I'm gonna challenge this guy right here with this name. Again, it's one of those things. It's like I don't know if he shows up here, but just because of the nature of his position, where other teams fall, the rise in talent from everyone else, we'll see if this guy can stick around this long. Breece Hall.
Oh, the running back, Iowa State.
And this is for what, the fourth or the third?
Third round.
Third.
Breece Hall actually most likely will be here, to be honest. Because if you think about it, Breece Hall kind of reminds you of a running back that's physical, but that can also catch out the backfield too. Him and Brian Robinson are really tied for me because they both, even though I think Brian Robinson probably would have put up the same amount of sets Breece Hall has if he would have got the opportunity to. It's just that he has so many great guys in front of him. But I think him and Brian Robinson are very identical to each other.
Yeah. I mean, here's something to throw at you guys. Just reading this one sentence. Over Hall's tenure at Iowa State, he has amassed nearly 4,000 rushing yards in 3 years.
Well, he's balling, boy. He's balling.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's balling, man. How many yards per carry?
Ooh, it's at least like 6 something.
Because he's balling,
That's
man.
amazing.
Let me look this up. Breece Hall. Breece Hall stats. 5.8 was his yards per carry.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
20 touchdowns.
20 touchdowns?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. He balling, bro.
3 receiving touchdowns as well.
Yeah, he's balling, man. I ain't even mad. He balling.
So, man, and this was a year where he actually had just a bit above 250 carries too.
Just above 250?
Yeah, it was 253.
So he was a workhorse. So he has shown that he can carry the workload.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I watching this fucking game of Atlanta and the Jets?
I mean, hey, we won. It was that was our second win of the season.
Second win of the season,
third.
yeah. Second win.
Man,
Because I'm watching the game to look and see where there was positive throughout the year, but also where the team went wrong on defense, and it was pretty much, everywhere.
To be honest, I think a lot of people are over-exaggerating about the secondary and the defense. To be honest, I really think we could wait till the second or maybe even the third for a cornerback, because a lot of these cornerbacks nowadays that are starting aren't even first round picks. Most of them are like second and third.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you tell me how many corners in the first round that are in the top 10 or top 5, at least either they came in late in the first or they're day 2 guys. The only top 5 corners that I can say that are like first round picks are Terrell, Ramsey, and Jair Alexander. Well, Tre'Davious White was the first round. Wait, was he?
You said Tre'Davious who?
Tre'Davious White, Bills cornerback.
Yeah, he was the first round pick.
Yeah, so yeah, he was a late first round pick.
Yeah.
So late first round pick right there. And then you have, then you have Xavier Howard. He was a second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Marshawn Lattimore, second round pick. Let's see. Who else? Yeah, I can't think of the names right now, but you have a lot of second round picks that are like top 10 corners for most of these guys that are like bench press, like bench guys.
Mm-hmm.
What about Marlon Humphrey?
Marlon Humphrey. He was a second round pick. He was like an early second round pick. I remember that one.
Okay, so we can include him in the list. Oh wait, no, 2017 round 1 pick 16.
15.
So yeah, he was a first rounder. Trey, you should have known that. He's from Alabama.
Hey.
Who was this? Diggs?
No, Marlon Humphrey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from Baltimore. Yeah.
Anyways, Breece Hall versus Brian Robinson. Trey, you said he's kind of tied in your opinion.
Yeah. Just like,
Yeah, I think just Breece Hall was productive because he was able to get on the field earlier.
yeah. Because if you think about it, like, so let's say Brian
That
Robinson
could be true, but at the
plays,
same time, like Brian Robinson, he's got like Evan Neal blocking for him. Like something like that can definitely help.
But look at it though, Noah. If Brian Robinson was to start out as a starter for Alabama, you can't tell me he wouldn't have been able to develop into better than where he is now.
Well, my thing is, do you think he gets that development here in Atlanta?
Being who Arthur Smith is, and he loves the run game, I think so.
he most likely will. I'm not even gonna lie. He probably most likely will.
So you trust that more than taking a guy like Breece Hall then?
I mean, if Breece Hall is there, it's probably like it just depends on who's there. Like,
Yeah.
if they
And it just depends, like, what Trey is saying. It also depends on do the Falcons want to just, sit around and get a bunch of developmental players that need some. They got a high floor or high ceiling. Take chances on them developing, or are they in a win now type mode?
Well, just like we said earlier with Terry Fonson saying, he wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to try to get the best of both worlds with this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with a running back like this, especially this high, you're going to have bigger expectations, and you're going to be asked to do dang near everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because, depending on how other people think about this demon, but round 3 running backs, you're kind of in like starter territory.
Yes.
You're at least going to be like the RB1 in a committee.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go like first guy, like what Najee did, like you're going to be asked to do everything all the time, and there's not going to be much help for you.
Mm-hmm.
So again, a guy like a Jonathan Taylor or a guy like Ezekiel Elliott, like these are going to be guys that are going to be asked to do absolutely everything for the team, and once they wear down, then you'll start to see the next guy take over, get more explosive looks, and overall you'll start to question whether or not the guy that you drafted at number 1 is going to be worth it anymore. That's just the nature of the position.
Mm-hmm.
So with what we have here, and again, my knowledge of the running backs that are going to be found later on than this, I like my chances at both of them, but I'm still holding on to the hope to the upside that I see with other guys later on.
Okay.
So, given what we have here with these other guys on the board, if you take a look at a guy like Kobe Bryant or a guy like Leo Chenal or a guy like Tyreke Smith, I think they provide more for this team right now than a running back would if you take him in the 3rd.
Okay.
So that's my case for getting rid of both of them.
So you're looking at the trenches, and you're looking more so at the trenches defense, building that, and then getting those luxury picks, try to get them later on, being that we need to build up the defense, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you want to build up a team, do you draft a running back before you draft an edge rusher?
No, negative.
No. Do you draft a running back before you draft a linebacker?
No.
Do you draft a running back before you draft a corner?
No, you do not.
These are all here, and yet we got 2 running backs here.
Running backs really the most you can find a running back in any part of the draft, any What's the word?
And this team just showed us you can find a running back and a 30-year-old kick returner.
Yeah.
This is true.
So, and I got like at least one more name to add here. Again, we started this earlier, but we kind of talked about the press conference. So we're kind of still back to where we are at square one. So, however long that we want to go about this.
I mean, I can.
I think both Hall and Robinson can go, because if we're going to be deciding on splitting hairs between the two, if they're that close, then it's one of those situations where if you have two quarterbacks, you have nothing. I think if we have two running backs here, then we got nothing here.
Okay, my take is I would leave Breece Hall myself, but I'm looking at it. I'm always trying to look at everybody else's perspective here, and take it into account. Breece Hall, get him in the third round, like you said. You're trying to build a team. Defense wins championships. Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. So we can take both of them off. Well, you're banking on somebody being there in the fourth round. You really are.
That's fine by me. I'm banking on someone being in the fifth.
Okay.
For me, it's probably
and that's very possible.
The fourth or fifth round.
Long as it's not Ito Smith.
Oh no. The guys that I'm looking at, they're nowhere near any Ito Smith. So, Trey, what do you say?
Really, we can take both of them off.
Yeah, you can.
Because, like, to be honest, like, third rounder, you're looking at starter. Fourth rounder, you're looking at split carries, and that's what we're getting right now. Like,
running back by committee.
I'd rather have a committee, and the dude that should be starting, and then he's splitting carries with somebody else when we can get everything out of him. But then we're wasting his talent, and we're not prolonging it. You know.
So D'Angelo Malone is another edge, correct?
I think so.
And I'm already talking about Shannon Tindall. He's already small to me. It's essentially another Dion.
Yeah.
You said Leo is more of a blitzer. You know,
he's 6'2", 250.
That's Leo, right?
Yeah.
He's that rocket coming downhill on a blitz. How is he against the run?
But again, he's the guy that's gonna just destroy the blocker so that someone else can do the cleanup.
Okay.
So I mean, you can trust him to do either job. But what we have is two cleanup guys, if you really think about it.
Okay.
Because our defense, our whole defensive line as a whole, is trying to do the same job that Leo can do by himself. That's how I think about it. Like if you're trying to get these pass rushers and you're worried about them not being able to stop the run, you get a guy like him, you don't really have to worry about all that much.
Could either one of those guys be gotten in the fourth round?
Maybe Channing.
Okay. Because I really like Tyreek. I'm sorry.
Hey.
But I also like the wide receiver in Tolbert and also Kobe Bryant.
I might add one more wide receiver too. So keep an eye on how much you are infatuated with that.
Okay.
Nate, I know a player we can add real quick.
Okay.
Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver out of Kentucky.
Ooh,
he was the guy that I added as the last pick for last week's conversation too.
Yeah.
The reason as to why I did that is because when I see the combine looking up and I see his tape, that really reminds me of like a less polished version of Kadarius Toney. I think he's gonna rise. So I don't think he makes it into the as just outside like the top 75 players when you put it that way. So I'm gonna add someone else here. So.
I better go to bed. Get up late this military job if I want to. I'm written on like a motherfucker tomorrow.
Kyle Phillips.
What position you play?
Wide receiver from UCLA.
What number was he?
He was number 2.
Was he the taller guy that was on there?
He was not. He's 5'10", 191. But the thing I like about him is if you have 5 routes, his route will get open first, dang near like 90% of the time.
Okay.
He is very reminiscent of. Now, again, I don't want to compare him, just like do the full-on comparison, but he's very reminiscent to me of a Hunter Renfrow.
I like Hunter, boy.
kind of like that guaranteed that's going to catch the ball type guy.
Oh yeah.
Possession receiver. Yeah.
You know, because when they were doing the practices in the East West Shrine Bowl, quarterbacks kept throwing to this guy, even though they had to try to give other wide receivers a chance. They really couldn't get that chance because their runs couldn't get it open as fast as him.
So he's kind of like that. He sounds a little bit faster than what Tunyon is. I mean what not Tunyon, Hunter Renfrow is.
Yeah.
And if you can get a faster Hunter Renfrow, that sounds pretty good. Because if Renfrow just had a little bit more speed, he'd probably be dominant. Like he'd be like a top 10.
But you know what though? He is a master at converting third downs, boy.
Oh yeah. So yeah, my thing is though about him, he's a perfect slot guy.
Yeah, slot guy. That's what I'm gonna say, slot guy. Yes, because if you can't sign Russell Gage back, he'll be that perfect slot guy.
Which, if you can guarantee me that we take Kyle Phillips in the 3rd round, I'm okay with leaving Russell Gage off the table.
Yeah. If only Terry Fonda could predict the future, man. Because so let's say little opportunity here. All right, so let's say that we don't end up re-signing Gage, and this entire receiving room is brand new. And even if Frank Darby stays, because Frank Darby didn't even get any play PT last year, basically got about 10 minutes, 10 total minutes of playing time last year.
I wouldn't even give him that.
He had 1 catch for 10 yards
on 12 routes. He ran exactly 12 routes last year.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So tells you all you need to know about what Frank Darby did last year.
His highlight reel could not even fit a TikTok.
Yeah. It's basically just Frank Darby highlights. You show that one preseason catch you had, the one that one catch you had. What was that game in San Fran? The San Fran game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where he got most of his routes in at San Fran.
So you got the San Fran game. That's about 15, but not even 15, about 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't equal up into a dance on TikTok.
Yeah, the average length of a play is about 4 or 5 seconds.
I don't know, man. I hope him. You know, Arthur Smith said in one of the stories, I guess, that came out was, I think it was on ESPN, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully, the sitting of Frank Darby will help him in year 2. Now that he had a chance to learn from people that had experience. Me personally, I don't really agree with that approach. I like to put people on the field early. If they mess up, they mess up. But Get him on the field. That way, they at least go into year 2 with some type of experience.
Yeah, they take their lumps. They know what mistakes to come
Correct.
back from, and they know how to correct it at that point. Whereas now, you're going to send them on the second year, and there's still going to be some growing pains there. And now you have a shorter leash on them. So
now, because like, okay, let's say he doesn't do good this year, is he going to be cut?
But
there's not a whole lot of collateral.
He shouldn't, because it wouldn't be his fault.
Yeah.
Essentially, it'll be his first year next year.
I mean, I don't see how he didn't get any playing time last year, because really I really put anybody out there
The same
just to
thing
see
with
if they
Richard
could
Grant.
do better than Gage, Zacchaeus, and Christian Blake.
The same thing with Richard Grant. As said,
and that's how forgetful Tajay Sharp is. You forgot to mention him.
Yeah, my man, Tajay Sharp is as good as gone. He sealed that when he had that little tantrum on that 2-point conversion in that Saints game. I'm like, dude, we down. We done lost the game, basically. You over here. So he hit you late, and now you mad. It's like, well, they came in our building and whooped us, so like, hey, he can do whatever he wants.
Tajay Sharp is a big body for nothing.
Yeah. He ain't do nothing in the red zone. And I can tell you right now, Brian looked that man's way at least 6 times a game in the red, at least a couple times in the red zone. He didn't get open. It's like he didn't get open. And it's like, bro, like you're 6'5". You're about 6'5".
You're like 190.
190. You're a jump ball king. You got a little speed on you, and you telling me you can't at least get a touchdown during the season? And we had one of the best red zone percentages in the NFL. So it's not like we wasn't looking at you. Like, dang.
So, I mean, heck, even 5'10" Kyle Phillips easily replaces him in the red zone too.
Yeah, because at least Kyle Phillips can get up there and take a jump ball.
I mean, dude, like we saw Hunter Renfrow win like a fade in the end zone.
He's 5'11".
Yeah, so it can happen. Think of all the catches like Tyler Lockett makes, like the back of the end zone like that.
That lets you know that you don't have to be the biggest guy out there to make catches. You gotta just look. You can't teach effort. Effort is a choice. Okay, effort is a choice. You can't teach it. And from what the Falcons brought on the field last year, as far as receiver wise, there was a lot of effort. You know, Gage did his thing. I just wish his ass would stay on the ground. Quit doing all this jumping. You know, this ain't a hurdle contest. But all the other receivers, they do nothing. Christian Blake. You talking about Frank Darby? What was Christian Blake at?
Moving on.
Christian Blake had a drop in the end zone on that 49ers game.
Yep, he did.
So it was an easy touchdown. I mean, Ryan put it on him. It was just grab it, and that's it. Just grab it, and he couldn't even do that.
I'm going to add one more name here. That's going to put us at 15 total because we're running at a time when we haven't even slimmed down our list. So let's add one last guy. Knowing what we know about certain positions.
The next show I come on Noah, I'm gonna be real quiet. I feel like when I come on, I take a lot of the time with other conversations. So I apologize.
No. That's heavily encouraged. Why do you think I put the invitation out?
We need conversations like that.
I know I know Matt might be like, man, what the hell Noah still doing on the damn?
Well, what position? What we're thinking here?
We can go corner right here. if we can find another number 2.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too.
Corner.
Let's throw this name up here.
What about Armor? Armor from Alabama. He probably a 5th or 6th round pick.
I don't even know who you're talking about, to be honest.
Darian Kendrick, corner from Georgia.
I don't know too much about him.
Darian is not going to be there at 3rd. To be honest, I'd probably take him at 58 if there was nobody better.
I was also thinking about.
He went like Darian went from. Now he should have been a 1st the way he played, but just because I had a cornerback talent in, so probably going to end up being a 2nd round pick. But he probably won't be there even at 74 in my opinion. He'll probably be somewhere around the 43 spot, maybe 58 if we get lucky.
You said Darian Kendrick gonna be there?
No, not really.
All right, let me change this up then.
Because if you put him right there, there's a no-brainer that you take Darian.
Marcus Jones, corner from Houston.
Okay. Houston got some good corners that they produce.
Now the biggest knock, or I don't know if that was fair. He's 5'8", 185.
Ooh, shit! Well, he'll kick returner.
You said he's what?
He'll kick returner.
5'8", 185. But
oh yeah, that's a straight up slot cornerback right there. There's no way I put that man on the outside.
And I'm not drafting him in the 3rd round. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's no way. That's basically me in about a year. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm taller than that man, actually, to be honest. Right now I'm 14. I'm 5'9". No, 5'10". My bad. 5'10", 155 pounds. So basically, you're telling me give me about a year and I'll be at his head and I'll be at his level in the NFL? No, he's a 6th round pick at best.
Okay, I'm gonna do this in defense of Alex, who I sent the invite to. He didn't show up, so he's probably gonna be busy for tonight. So in his defense, all right, Marcus Jones is about as tough as they come. So he's gonna be a really good tackler for you because he's going to be in that slot. He's going to be asked to do about as much as you would expect a slot corner to have. He can handle being a tackler. He can handle. He's really smart. He's got sneaky good length to him, and again, highly athletic. Because they don't really have anything to him, so he ain't got no choice but to be athletic. Plays the ball really, really well. And I think that he's got a lot of the good techniques that you would expect. Again, like his one and basically only knock on him is that he's 5'8". That's it. But everything else, like if every trait that he shared was in just a slightly bigger frame, this guy's a 1st round pick. So that's what I'm gonna say for him. Like if he just has a bit more of a frame to him, this guy's probably going like top 20 in the draft.
Well, then that goes back to what we said earlier, Noel. When you said measurements doesn't always tell the story correctly, correct?
That's just true. But at the same time, we're starting to get some bigger guys in our division when it comes to the slot wide receiver. Yeah. Now, they're not necessarily going to be like a Kyle Phillips size, where it's like, oh, hey, the corner's 5'8", but the wide receiver's 5'10". Mm-hmm. You know, you can scheme it up so that, hey, let's get this guy paired up against the smaller guy. And then have that mismatch. Yep. But the great thing about Marcus Jones is that in this mock draft, we took Kyle Hamilton.
Yes.
So, and we're likely going to bring back Isaiah Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think of like a dime package,
then
you can do literally whatever you want.
Yep, I can see that
with your entire secondary, and that's what Dean Pease really wants to go for, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's more of a creator of his schemes when it comes to the coverage, more so than the pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his specialty. Like if you really want to please Dean Pease, and this guy's still on the board for you, I don't know how you don't take him here. Mm. But at the same time, you got some other competition, like a guy like Kobe Bryant could challenge him with that, because this guy is your cornerback too.
Yes.
But this guy
is your fourth corner?
At worst. But I mean, again, if we're going back to our idea of bringing back Oliver, drafting Kyle Hamilton, and now a guy like Marcus Jones is like your sixth worst guy in the secondary. Mm-hmm. That's a great problem to have.
As long as he's better than Kendall Sheffield, we're good.
He is.
Okay.
So anybody that's my defense for him.
Okay. Very legit. Like I said, I don't know much about him, but I have to trust you at your word.
And my word is mostly coming from Alex's word.
Okay.
And that's one. If there was the one guy that Alex was gonna like rave about for this entire time, it would have been Marcus Jones.
Marcus Jones, Houston. Okay. He plays outside. He doesn't play outside at Houston or inside.
He played both. It was a mix of both.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say about him though is that he is physical, but my God, that man is like you have to put him in the right position.
Yeah.
To succeed.
I can see Pease doing. You know, not just any defensive coordinator can get a guy like Marcus Jones and use him correctly, right? Dean Pease is a guy that I can trust to do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get a situation where, like, George Kittle is going to be blocking Ricardo Allen. You know?
No. I still don't see why Dan Quinn used Ricardo Allen as a box safety. That had to be the dumbest thing I had ever seen. If you're going to put Ricardo Allen on any goal line situation, it better be the fullback. And really, he's too small for that. So just take him off the goal line, period.
He would not have covered Kyle Juszczyk.
No.
I mean, and the thing is, Keanu Neal wasn't even on the field on that play. And that wasn't the year he was injured. Wait, no. Was that the year he was injured? It was 2019. Oh, yeah. He tore his Achilles.
He tore his Achilles.
Against the Colts.
Yeah. But still, though, it's like, dude, like, put somebody else on there. I understand Ricardo Allen is a good safety. He's a very smart safety. He's a very smart guy. But you just... Like, you cannot have that happen, bro. That's something that you just can't have happen.
But anyways, all right, Channing Tindall, I think he can go.
He can go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to really get on with this show. So, goodbye, Channing Tindall. Tony Wright, if you're still in here in the chat with us, give me one good thing to say about D'Angelo Malone that I couldn't say about Tyreek Smith.
Never heard of D'Angelo Malone. It sounds like a pretty good kid, though.
I know he's out of Western Michigan. I haven't watched tape of him yet.
So, while I'm waiting for that answer,
Tony might be asleep.
I mean, this show is.
I don't blame him.
For about 3 hours. So.
All right, guys. You guys still liking Jalen Tolbert?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
More than Kyle Phillips?
Yeah.
I do. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm just going to say right now, you might be sorry.
But that's why we're looking for your expertise. Like, what do you feel? I know you said you like him out of UCLA because he's able to get open He's open faster than other receivers at the Senior Bowl
or at the Shrine Bowl. Yeah,
at the Shrine Bowl. Do you feel that it's going to translate better to the NFL?
Yeah. Because this guy was like yards open.
Okay.
Even if some of that doesn't exactly translate, he's still going to be like 1 or 2 yards open rather than like 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. So he's good at the line.
Still good.
So so pressing him is a bad idea.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Whereas Jalen Tolbert, he might fix your wide receiver 1, which is a bit more useful given the offense that we have.
Yes.
But if we don't sign a number 1 wide receiver in the free agency, then there's no reason to take Jalen Tolbert here.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of to be honest, Jalen Tolbert would be a good wide receiver too. Not just to be honest, if we do end up signing somebody, I still would probably look at him, look his way a little bit.
Yeah, but then I'll move over to Jalen Phillips then from there.
Yeah. Because
Kyle Phillips.
Okay, yeah. Jalen Phillips. Kyle Phillips, yes. Sorry.
Jalen Phillips was drafted last year from Miami.
Yeah, Miami.
I was getting in there too a little bit earlier.
You gotta forgive me, no, I'm getting old, man.
Okay. All right. He said he wasn't asleep. He was just watching the Falcons Jets. Okay. So with D'Angelo Malone, he says he's quick off the ball and he's fast from sideline to sideline, and he does get the sack. So he does fit the bill of a pressure guy. But is that going to be enough in order to win us over a guy like Tyreke Smith?
Because that bothers me if that's the case with him. Because how does he play against the run? Because Vic Beasley can run past you every so often, but how does that play against the run?
Because like being fast from sideline to sideline
is one thing. Set the edge is another. Because once that offensive lineman lock onto you, are you able to disengage from block?
Okay, so he's about 230. You might need to put on some extra weight. I would definitely agree with that, especially if we want to draft him for the role that he would play.
And can he hold the weight?
I'm sure he can.
Thing too.
I mean, heck, I'm about 240. I can technically hold the weight. Don't necessarily mean I want to, but I am.
I just don't want it to be like Dion, man, because Dion, 230, 235. Season comes, he 225. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm starting to notice that too, because like Dion, you notice in Dion, it seemed bigger. Like last year, Calvin Ridley in the offseason was bigger. When you got the week 1, he's like, where'd all the weight go?
All right. Well, while you wait for that, I think it might be a verdict out there that Kobe Bryant might not even be here. So just gonna take him off if that's okay with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He might be a second. Yeah, he might be a second rounder.
Okay.
Thanks for the combine.
And who do we have going in the second round for us? We had Travis Jones and who?
And Nik Bonitto.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So
that wasn't bad at all.
If Tony Wright is saying here that he's still got a work in progress to go for just his body size, like Tyreke Smith already kind of has that.
At 250.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, I like Tyreke Smith, man.
Leo, he's fun to have, but I know that if we can't get him, that either must mean that we signed Foyer or we're really shooting for Jack Sanborn, who can be found later on. And if that's the case, I might have to remove him.
True.
So let me ask you a question, Noah.
Okay.
So does Leo have some of the same characteristics as another Wisconsin's linebacker by the name of Bond, play for the Saints.
Zach Bond?
Yeah, Zach Bond.
Well, he fell off, man. I haven't heard from that dude in years. Ever since he got drafted, has he been injured or something?
I don't know. I don't follow the Saints like that, so I can tell you, but
I couldn't care less.
But when he was at Wisconsin and you did do some scouting on him, did you see any similarities or they're two different players?
I don't really remember Zach Bond like that, so I really can't give you that kind of answer. But I will say that if I have to get a comparison for Leo,
the most I can remember for Bond is that he was physical. He's kind of like physical, kind of like that off the ball middle linebacker type guy.
Yeah, it's a bit too late for all of us for me to be put on the spot like that.
Okay, no problem. He had an excellent Senior Bowl with 1 sack and 2 quarterback pressures. The coaches said that he practiced well at the Senior Bowl. Okay, Tony.
Because it's really just Jarvis you're gonna have to convince. Just
you said what now?
I said it's really just you that Tony Wright's gonna have to convince at this point. So if you keep feeding enough information, you might be able to sway him. Meanwhile, the drop off at wide receiver. Do you like that more so than the drop off at corner?
Yeah, I do.
So at that point,
with corner, to be honest, that it really is the second most deepest position in the draft. If you really think about it, it's got a lot of like you can go in the third and get a number 2 corner, so maybe even a number 1, but you have to pick correctly. You could get a slot corner. You can it's like the choices are wide, but with kind of like the wide receivers are kind of limited a little bit to where you may be able to find a number 2, but you may end up finding a number 3.
Okay, Zach Bond played special teams in rookie year, and he played a lot in his second year. Shit, I ain't seen him on the football field.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't seen him on special teams in the 2020 year.
I remember kind of seeing his last name every now and then as they try to pan the camera to see the quarterback's face. Mm-hmm. That's about all I remember.
Damn, that's bad, boy.
Yeah, that's pretty. The only time I seen him last year was when Trevor Simeon passed by him after that little touchdown he had to Camaro. That was about it. After that, I didn't see him. And it's not like they set him up on the defense either. Like he don't blitz. I don't see him on special teams. So he had a tackle in the 2020 game at Mercedes-Benz on Brandon Powell. But that's the only time I really seen that man on the film.
All right. So you're saying that you would trust to find another corner than you would to try to trust to find another wide receiver?
Right now, yes. Now that may change after the combine because wide receivers for some odd reason always choose to, go stupid during the season of March. But yeah, I think they do end up doing that.
So who am I wiping off here?
Man, that's tough.
Is Jalen Tolbert the only wide receiver up there?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, I may have said that without looking. Because I think he's better than Marcus Jones.
It'd be Marcus Jones for me. But.
Yeah, for me, it's Marcus Jones. Because if we, and the reason I say that, if we end up re-signing Isaiah Oliver and we end up drafting an outside cornerback, there's no room for Marcus Jones because we already have 2. He's more of a safety than anything, but we already got 2 safeties, 2 projects in safety. We already got two slot cornerbacks basically, in Darren Hall and Isaiah Oliver. We ended up re-signing them, and Avery Williams too. You put him on the outside, and all people are going to do is make a jump ball on him, and he can cover that, but it's like it's just going to be at a point to where dudes just big body him. It's like what Drake London do with cornerbacks. He's kind of overrated to me because all he does is just big body dude. It's not any core routes. He's not breaking anybody. He's not having 3 or 4 yards of separation. It's literally just him basically boxing somebody out and catching the ball. And that's what people are going to end up doing to Marcus Jones.
All right. So I think my one final question is, are either of these guys starting week 1?
No. But I like Tyreek Smith chances of getting on the field early.
Yeah. Tyreek Smith probably end up being a depth rotator if we end up drafting Jermaine Johnson and signing like a guy in free agency, or Ade continues to impress in training camp and all of that. So he'll probably be a depth piece. But I do expect him to get on the field a lot in like third down, second down situations when you're protecting the Ryan goal line, 3rd and 1s, stuff like that.
What are all of your thoughts of us trading down in the first round out of the 8 spot to Philadelphia?
I think you probably end up doing that if Thibodeau or Hamilton isn't there, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. Now, so if Thibodeau, Hamilton, and Devin Lloyd aren't there, trade back.
For me, if Devin Lloyd is there, you still trade back, because I think you can. If you trade back with the Washington football team at 11, or my bad, the Commanders at 11,
you still get him.
Yeah, you'll probably end up still getting them.
Trey, I think you were right the first time.
Yeah, man, it's like, dude, like so many team name changes and change. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start getting used to this, but. If you think about it, Devin Lloyd isn't going to go to the Jets. They don't need a linebacker. We sure know the Broncos don't need a linebacker. They got a very good linebacking core out there. And then that pick just leave us right there. It bounces right in his hands.
Let me tell you something.
Jermaine Johnson, too. A lot of people say draft Jermaine Johnson at 8, but you could still trade back to like 11 and get the dude.
Since the Washington... the Commanders changed their football team to the Commanders now. I'm going to change the Atlanta Falcons name from the Falcons to the East Atlanta Birds.
I mean, they are located in East Atlanta, so.
You're going to be the East Atlanta
Birds. Well, then if you want to be really technical, then it's going to be the Landover Commanders, because they're in Maryland. They're not even in D.C.
This is true.
So. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. At this point, if I'm told to remove one of them, I'm removing the other by proxy. And that kind of leaves Jalen Tolbert all by himself to win this spot.
I ain't gonna lie, Jalen, to be honest, I don't see us going 3 straight edge rushers in 3 straight rounds.
Yeah, because
that's over excessive.
At some point, you got to address the offense here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the wide receiver, it will be the final duo then, because the first round we had Kyle Hamilton, second round we had Bonitto and Travis Jones. So that's your defensive tackle and your edge rusher right there. And
we're trusting ourselves to get another edge rusher in free agency.
That means we can get another edge rusher if possible in the 4th round, maybe.
Maybe fifth.
And
really,
there's still the potential that one of the guys that we already have can step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ogundeji.
Yeah.
And that's what Arthur said at the end of the season. He said we can't just go stupid, or no, my bad, Terry Funnell. He said we basically just can't go stupid because we still have dudes from last year that we still have to develop. We don't know if any of these guys are going to end up being maybe a 5th round Hall of Famer or a 5th round Pro Bowler or something. And we end up, putting a whole bunch of talent over him. We trade him to another team, and then all of a sudden he's putting up 15 sacks a season. And then we look stupid, And right now, Ogundeji is really, in my opinion, the breakout candidate for next year because of his motor and his work ethic and how he asks questions and how he works himself. it just like it shows that he was really one of the most hardest working, not just D linemen, but players on that defense last year.
Yeah, our defensive line or our edge position is very thin. Steve Means is gone. Dante Fowler is gone. Who else is on our edge? We got what? John Kaminsky
Gone. Jacob Tudio and Martin cut him
gone.
during the season.
Jonathan Bowles, a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, so it's thin.
And when I mean thin, I mean you only have basically one player at the position.
Ogundeji.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's like.
But at the same time, I think with this one, you're almost trying to kill a fly with a shotgun here.
Yeah, you.
What? I've never heard that before, but it sounds great.
But it's a great analogy because pellets fly. It ain't gonna hit that fly. Believe me, I can tell you that much.
So again, I think with the running backs, I think they both go here.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of leaves Jalen Tolbert the winner here.
So you have addressed best player available, right? Hamilton. Yeah. And then you got your defensive tackle, somebody who can help Grady. You got the other edge.
Yeah.
You're banking on getting somebody in the first or second wave of free agency, edge-wise.
Yeah.
And then you just
address the wide signings here.
Mm-hmm. Because I do see us going into the free agency and getting another wide receiver. I don't think it'll be somebody like Devontae Adams or something like that, but
probably a guy like Allen Robinson, to be honest, because he said he would go on the team for the cheap. Like he's not trying to get the bag right now because he knows coming off an injury riddle year and kind of a letdown year, teams are a little cautious right now. So
what about a big body like Mike Williams?
He might ask for too much.
Mike Williams probably
he's younger too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's gonna want that one last more contract.
And Chris Godwin going back to Tampa. Chris Godwin going back to Tampa, and there's no way he comes to Atlanta.
I mean, it would be a good signing, but
they don't really have the cash space for that, especially with here's the thing: if they make that move, they better do it before Devontae Adams gets paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please, because Adams will break the bank.
He will. $23 million or more.
That would be more than what Julio was making. Because Julio was making $21 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I mean, at this point, let's think about this. We try to get, what you said, Allen Robinson. He could be a wide receiver 1. You might move Patterson, make him wide receiver 2, or you upgrade Jalen Tolbert here, make him wide receiver 2. Take back Gage. He's your wide receiver 3.
Mm-hmm.
How many more wide receivers do you need beyond that if we try to draft another tight end and focus on a running game?
You could just have a low tier guy, just in case of injuries.
James
but they have to be.
And that's about it. And if that's the case, guess what? We still got money in our back pocket because we're saved up.
True, but that wide receiver, that reserve wide receiver that we're talking about, cannot be the same size as Chris. What his name is? Clark. I mean, what's the damn wide receiver we just had on our team? Blake. Yeah, Christian Blake or Olamide Zaccheaus. Those guys are really small. You need somebody in between. So if one of the other guys, top tier guys on our team, gets hurt, you still have another guy that got some size to him. Because ultimately,
my one thing for you
mm-hmm.
is those are Dan Quinn guys.
It is.
Those are the guys that Arthur Smith was left with. Those weren't really the guys that he wanted.
No. I do understand that. My thing is Arthur Smith loves to run the ball, so he gonna want that receiver to be able to block too and help out the run game. As you notice, everybody want to blame the offensive line about how our run game was really bad. Yes, they played a part, but at the same time, there was no receivers really out there blocking in the run game,
except maybe Zaccheaus.
Okay.
Actually, no. Yeah, you can't say that because Zaccheaus was going. He was a very good run blocker.
Yeah. Okay. I guess to me he's that one of those. He's an exception.
Yeah, I think you paint the picture here. You need some sort of a weapon, and
Yeah,
If we're really banking on this edge class being as deep as everyone wants to say it is, another guy can fall in the 4th round for you.
Yeah, you could.
Again, there's only so many edge rusher positions that are going to be taken up at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So you might get someone else's backup as someone else's starter. You know.
True enough. So you could erase 3 and 5, because hypothetically, what if the Falcons go in free agency and get somebody like Derek Barnett?
And now there's no point for either one of these.
Yes. No. So. Yeah, take the wide receiver, because at this juncture, you're going to need a wide receiver, because that is just as thin as the edge rusher.
Yeah.
The only person we got on the contract is Calvin Ridley, which we don't know what's going to be going on with him. No, let me stop lying to myself. We already know what's going to go on with Calvin Ridley. Okay, so.
Yeah, it's late enough. You ain't got to hold back.
So, the only wide receiver that you got under contract really is Frank Darby. So that's it.
There's your answer, everyone. We now upgraded our wide receivers from 4 to.
So are you, when you say wide receivers was at number 4, are you taking into account the practice squad guys too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you have it, folks. That's our answer. And hopefully you got the understanding as to why with this 3 hours and now 16 minutes show.
That's a damn shame. That's why we're not GMs or coaches, because we took 3 hours to pick one pick. I asked to be fired.
Man,
again, we weren't under 10 minutes, and the draft hasn't happened. A lot of these options would have been gone before we even had a chance to really tone this down.
Oh yeah,
but.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why the draft is so fun. You never know what's gonna happen,
and it's a crapshoot. You got high hopes for a guy who don't turn out to be nothing. One of the guys I want to bring to y'all attention that really hasn't really showed me how dominant he can be yet in the NFL, but hopefully he can change it around. And that's that guy Quinnen Williams from the New York Jets. Now I know you're an Alabama fan, Trey, but Quinnen ain't showed me really nothing yet.
Oh no. To be honest, he's really a bust at this point. He's basically just a run stuffer. And he's injury prone. I was hoping to get him during the draft, but it was just that 2019 draft. There was no way we were going to get Quinn. He was literally going to get the pick. He was locked to be number 3 to the Jets. And
so what about the defensive tackle out of Buffalo that went in the same draft? What's his name?
Isaiah Buggs.
No, not Bugs, but from Houston, the top
Ed Oliver,
yeah. Ed Oliver ain't showed me really nothing.
Oliver is actually pretty good. He is,
but I'm just saying
he's
on a consistent basis.
That's the problem. Yeah. He's inconsistent.
He's on the team that allows him to be though, because they got a good rotation.
Because he's not like Grady, to where he has to stay in nearly every play. Like he gets his little breathers here and there.
Yeah. Well, that draft looks good. That draft looks good, man. That draft looks good. That draft looks pretty good. If this was to happen, I think we're working with something.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're working with something. This right here will let me know that the Falcons are in a win now type of mentality.
And to be honest, this probably ends up happening if we end up signing a corner in free agency. Most likely Dante Jackson or
DeAndre Alford from the CFL.
Yeah. You know what? He
shows out.
He could turn into that Devin Bro that Saints had a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was from the Arena Football League.
Yeah, he was. I thought he was okay. He was okay. Arena Football. Okay. I thought he was from CFL too. So, but the Alexander, the guy we just got picked up in the CFL, I think he could be special, man. Even if he start off as a slot corner, I think he can be real special.
He's a bit more of a boundary guy for me.
Boundary guy. I do. So with that being said, you don't feel any type of way about Monroe, right?
I'd only keep Monroe if for experience purposes.
Okay.
Like I'm not keeping Harmon or Harris back.
No.
If I don't need to.
No.
you get the guy that's got the experience in the locker room there at that position, and even if it is just like, up to either AJ Terrell, who's been here since 2020, or, Fabian Moreau, who spent more time in the league than anyone that we have 8 years combined. It does offer something, if not off the field.
So with the safeties that we got now, Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins, right? You bringing somebody like Kyle Hamilton to be the other safety. Would you also draft somebody in the latter round, somebody like Marquise Bell out of FAMU to be a depth piece as well, or you just have the safeties where they're interchangeable with each other?
At that point,
That's
for the safety position, you kind of go for the UDFAs.
Okay.
There's too many needs to be worrying about backup safeties at this point.
Safeties. Okay, understood.
If you do end up signing driving Hamilton, though, that probably means you're putting either Jalen or Richie in the box. Because if you're gonna do that, you already had Jalen. You exposed Jalen these past 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get Richie that exposure. You cannot keep putting this man in the slot only when he's supposed to be playing free safety.
Yeah, that's why you bring back Isaiah Oliver for that position. Mm-hmm. Because I think Rich, people, everybody want to read into the whole Dean Pease. Well, he doesn't know the playbook real good right now. Dean Pease said that, but that didn't mean Dean Pease didn't want to play Richie Grant.
It was just he was in the wrong spot at the wrong
time. That's it, man. That's all.
Because let's say Deron Harmon wasn't really playing good to the end of the season. It was like really those last 2 or 3 games.
Oh yeah,
that he was playing good. And let's say Isaiah Oliver never gets hurt, and you put Richie Grant back there, a more versatile safety that can guard the deep halves.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a better view of what happens.
I think we're gonna see. I think this year, guys. I know we got to get off because it's getting late, but I think this year from Dean Pease, because I see, I think Dean Pease is going to play a lot of man defense this year. If he gets the people in place, I think there's going to be a lot of man defense.
If you let's just say this, because we seriously got to hop off. We cannot hit 3:30 on here, but I'm gonna just say this though. You get a serviceable corner at number 2 that doesn't get burnt a lot, that can hold his own.
Mm-hmm.
You get some pass rush help and some run help. Oh, this man, you will see. You thought Dean Pease was blitzing a lot last year? Oh, just wait.
Yeah.
And we're the only one that has an answer at quarterback in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
You're not telling me Ian Buck and Taysom Hill about to freaking read a blitz after Taysom Hill been in the league for 7 years and he just now getting some starting position at quarterback. He's 33 or 32.
32 years old.
Threw a pick 6 in his first 6 throws of his NFL career, and then you got Kyle Trask who ain't even touched the field before.
And then you got Sam Donald that beat him to that, and like his first throw was a pick 6.
I call him Mr. Ghost.
Mr. Ghost. It's the division is up for the taking this year, man, and the Falcons are primed to be that team to do that. But it's not going to be given to them, and I don't want them to go into this.
Even though the Saints' offense may suck, their defense
and the Bucs defense too,
the Panthers defense, all of those defenses are top 10.
The schedule we got too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we have got to get this offensive line and those wide receivers straight. If not, let's say this. Let's say this like right quick before we get off. Okay, let's say you draft a quarterback and you planning for the future, and then in the future the quarterback the team isn't done, but you don't. The Panthers, the Bucs, and the Saints all build their teams up. They're all good, and now you putting those quarterback. They ain't got no good team around them against superstar teams.
Yeah.
Well, smells like a cake I want to eat.
Well, unlike Noah over there on the West Coast, it's late as hell over here.
Yeah,
so
it's about 2:00.
Noah gonna get off of here and go to the club after we finish over here. You know, it's still earlier now.
Oh heck no! I got a video that I'm trying to edit, that I'm trying to finalize. I might get that thing pumped out by tomorrow, like early afternoon or whenever Mad Mike wants to decide to upload it. But dude, I've been working on that thing all day.
What part of Cali you live in, Noah?
It's like Central.
Oh, okay, yeah. I used to hang out in the Monterey area, San Jose area, and there's another little place, Liverpool, some little place up there. I used to hang out at, but I used to be stationed at a little place called Fort Hunter Liggett, which is in south of Salinas, California. Yeah, Soledad, Salinas. I used to be stationed out there. I used to be Paso Robles, San Luis Obispo area. And my favorite little spot I used to go to, Pismo Beach.
Yeah, that seems to be everyone's favorite on Instagram.
So
yeah, I'm in the section of California where it's too expensive, where it's expensive enough in order to be considered California, but it's like right in the middle of nowhere in terms of just anything interesting. Like it's about like an hour and a half drive if you want to do anything interesting.
Oh, that sounds like Barstow, man. Ain't nothing. That sounds like Barstow.
But it's like, but you're paying the price of technically living in California, but you don't really get to see any of it. So
yeah, what gas is about to hit $6 a gallon pretty soon, ain't it?
Dang near, man. I'm gonna have to go back to my bike.
So, but I wish I could just stay in California, man. I grew up there in LA a little bit. I miss it, but I don't miss the prices.
Nope.
Don't worry, Noah. I'll give you 2 years. Your ass gonna move to Atlanta.
Well, I'll be. On that note, well, thanks you guys for sticking around this long. But y'all need to go to sleep.
Take care of yourself, brothers. Take care of y'all.
All right. Take care.
Mm-hmm.